Going live. Welcome to the Late Sesh. What is happening? It's Monday.
What's up,
I'm
everybody?
here. You're here. We're here together. We might as well get high. What do you say?
Baby's here in the other room making a lot of noise. So if y'all hear a cat,
I want to hear it.
she's feisty
Ooh.
AF right now.
Sounds like you got like morning doves and shit in the fucking house.
She's doing meows. She's playing with Dinosaur in there, I think.
Is that Diamond's new nickname? Diamond the Dinosaur?
No, Diamond's here sleeping.
Dude, is she on that blanket again from last night?
You can see an ear.
A little head poke up.
She looks up.
What's up,
Yeah.
Diamond?
She's having
Cheers,
a good
Chad.
time. Today was her first day of not being left home alone while Sequence goes to work.
Yeah,
True.
What'd she do?
new day,
She
new
all right?
job, man.
Oh, she loved it, being here with me all day and the kittens. She loved it.
Good.
She was watching squirrels.
Squirrel.
That's
She
one thing. I
couldn't
don't
wait
know
for me
what
to
it-
get home, though, Spartan. She was really happy to see me.
I bet.
See, cats can show emotions like that.
It's good that you had someone to watch her because dogs a lot of times will get separation anxiety and do crazy shit like chew up shit or
You mean like chew a hole through the drywall and shit? Yeah.
yeah.
She's got separation anxiety for sure, but she's never chewed anything up, thank goodness.
Was she the one that I can't remember? Was she the one who was digging by the door, the carpet?
No.
No. Okay.
She
If
just-
you ever have
Well,
guys,
she
if
could've
you ever
really
encountered that where your dog, let's say you guys leave for work and it's rough because you're going to be gone for 9 hours and shit. And so if the dog ends up, digging by the door where you went out, it's a sign that your dog is dealing with some separation anxiety issues. And what you want to do is you want to try to make your leavings and your entrances as low key as possible for like 15, 20 minutes before you leave. And then and more importantly, 15 or 20 minutes when you come home. You don't want to come home through the door like Fred Flintstone where Dino jumps on him and shit. And it's like, oh my God, what the fuck? I miss you. Because then the dog is going to sit there in anticipation all fucking day waiting for old Daddy Red to come fucking flying through the door so DOG can leap on him.
She does do that.
Yeah.
I know she's got separation anxiety because when I walk out of the house, she starts making noises and she's sad that I left, So it's nice that she doesn't have to do that anymore. I guess she didn't whine when I left this morning, so that's good. Not
good shit.
usual. Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. I was surprised. Usually she does. She whines a little bit, but she's been getting used to it, I guess.
She's got you, though. She's got you a bit. Getting used
Yep.
to you.
She's got you, babe.
Actually, the
Yeah.
cat's probably up too. It gives her that sense of a pack.
Mm-hmm.
So you got plenty of people around.
Baby
She does
keeps her in
like
line.
I worked a service industry job for God, man, like almost 10 years with DOG, and he was home alone for upwards of 12 hours a day sometimes.
That's rough.
And so, I mean, I just wouldn't crate him, leave windows open, do stuff, try to.
Have you ever tried to leave the TV on for him, Red, or
Yeah, I've
some
done stuff
music
like
and
that,
stuff?
radios, yeah, all kinds of stuff. And then, let's see here. Then a couple years ago, well, let's see, 5-6 years ago, well, shit, man, it's probably more like 7 or 8 now. I went independent and I went home. I was home, so he got used to me being home for like 5 years. And then when I picked up that job in 2020, I was leaving him again. Felt so fucking bad. And I was like, dude, it's his golden years. And if he fucking outs on me, I'm going to feel so fucking bad that I was leaving him the last few fucking years of his life. Well, thankfully I'm back home. We're around a lot more often now. So
He's
back home a lot more often. He's much more happy now, but he doesn't get to go out to the farm with us.
He's probably not chewing on himself as much as he used to out of stress either, I would think.
He still licks himself a lot. He's got pit bull allergies, but we've been working on his diet, and he's got probiotics in his food and all kinds of stuff. We're really
Dude,
trying to-
man.
It
I
makes
had a
Let me
dog that
know
was
what works,
allergic
dude.
to grass
Yeah,
before.
you know what works? Fucking Benadryl works.
Yeah,
It
you can
helps.
give dogs
try
Benadryl.
that too.
Fucking
Maybe if I got it to her before a reaction, but afterwards.
Nah, it works during the reaction too, man. 1 milliliter. I got this from a vet. 1
One tablet per 30 pounds.
One
No,
milligram
like
per
the
pound.
tablets I have say 25 milligrams a tablet. So he takes 3, which is
Yeah,
he's
because he's a
75
bigger
pounds.
dog. That's why it'd be 3. Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay. Maybe
I
just
wouldn't
need
go
to
above 3 for any dog. And I
but
also
I only give him 1 dose a day. It says you
Yeah.
can give it every 12 hours or something, but I only give him 1 a day, and I only do it when he's really having problems. Like I'll give him 2 days in a row and 1 day off. 2 days in a row, 1 day off until he fucking stops.
the
now
old
it's
house we used to live at. We had a big fucking cottonwood tree right next door, and my giant schnauzer was allergic to it. So I was like, fuck, man. I used to be the dude that would go out in the back. I don't know if you've seen it on Reddit the other day where they were igniting that, where they take like a lighter and they light the cottonwood shit, and it just kind of burns across the grass really cool. I used to have to do that for him because he
never
was
seen
just
that,
like
no.
miserable. Yeah, so like if you have your yard, don't do this at home. Let me preface this: don't do this at home, guys. But I'll tell you what my dumbass did. It would be like total snow in the backyard, right? And I would be out there fucking sitting on the steps smoking a joint. Like, man, I got to bring this dog outside. So you got to really be kind of careful because when you set that on fire, sometimes if it's really, really thick, it's going to like super whoosh on you. But
I got a side story about that. Someone who isn't me and a friend.
You don't want to throw yourself under the bus.
We're all playing on some railroad tracks by a ball field. Shout out to Daddy Red in chat. Daddy Red was playing in a ball after work league, and we were out hanging out at Daddy Red's game on Dearborn.
So it was you?
Someone who isn't me. Someone who
Thanks,
isn't me.
Becca. I'm glad you clarified.
Had to
Damn,
make sure.
throwing me under the bus. She just
No, you
loves.
got
She's
yourself,
like,
bro.
just shoot out there.
It's the first rule. It wasn't me.
I just
So-
got confused, legitimately.
So we're out on the
Sorry.
railroad tracks, you know, and we're
Hey,
doing
thank you,
some
Sequence.
we're doing some controlled burns along the
That's pretty
railroad
badass,
tracks,
isn't it?
you know.
That's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
And
It's fun. It's fun, Spartan, until
do
the
not.
controlled burn
Until
gets
the
off
controlled burn
into
goes
the
out of
brush,
control.
I'd burn my house down.
and
I know.
you almost set Heinz Park on fire. Someone who
True
isn't me.
story.
And the fire department comes, and you know,
Yeah, looking
2
for-
kids came running out of that, and were never to be seen again. Supposedly,
Hightailing it.
I'd imagine. But yeah,
Purportedly.
Statute of limitations on that. I think
Oh,
it's like 30
7
years.
years. No, 7 years total.
Yeah, this was definitely far too long ago. Nobody
Not what
remembers
I
this
heard.
anymore.
30 years for art.
It was certainly someone who
30
isn't
years
me.
for arson. Holy shit.
Swim was the one who caused the
Hey, you have to shut that
brush
garden
fire.
down, growing all that fire. Then
brush
Wow.
fire
Woo!
in the woods.
Unintended.
When I was a kid, my brother and I had the fire department called on us for lighting.
wasn't it next door?
We lit a boat on fire in the garage.
Ooh.
The
Dude,
fire
in the
department-
garage?
Yeah,
Oh wow, man!
I didn't do that again.
How did that fucking shake itself out? Did you save the garage or no?
We got a stern talking to. The garage was fine.
Dude, all this fucking fire talk really wants to lead me into something I want to save for later, but holy cow, does it transition well. Shout out to Daddy Red, man, and because he's an awesome granddad to the dog. He took care of DOG this past weekend while Becca and I did some vending. Shout out to Becca, she's a fucking trooper. Slept in the back of the truck with me. Not the bed of a truck, like the back of like a
That's not
SUV
that kind of truck.
but yeah,
You broke in the back seat, Red.
what's
Yeah.
that?
You say you
Broke it
broke in
in.
the Bronco's back seat.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Broken the
You slept
the
there.
the
Slug him.
back seat broke us, more like it.
Not comfortable.
It's not
fine. It's
as
doable.
long as you would think. Spartan, all you guys are much
I
taller
was
than
just
us.
gonna say, Red, you're
Wouldn't
shorter
work.
than we are, so we would be
We're
really
short.
It
fucking
would not
miserable.
work for any of
It
the
wouldn't
tall
work.
people.
Yeah. It barely worked for us. We would have to go the other way. The issue is our heads would be downhill and the blood would be rushing to our heads all night. So I need to build maybe like a
Oh.
platform that leans the other way, and we could put our feet towards the seats, and it would
I
work.
wonder.
That is
We could get
not
it to work out.
for
No.
anybody over 40.
No.
I mean,
the things,
Huh?
Brad, have you seen those things you can put in your back seat for dogs? They like a
hammock?
hammock.
Yeah, those are dope.
We have one.
You might be able to utilize that with some other contraptions to enhance your.
a hammock would be interesting. Actually,
what?
a hammock might actually work.
It's
I've
like
used-
this much too short. for
There's
us.
If you
there's a
have-
lot of ways to configure that truck. There might be a hammock
Yeah.
option.
Well, you should
They
have a
mount it,
trailer
like,
hitch on
off
it. You
the
can tie
front
off to the
seats
fucking
and
trailer
then-
hitch in a tree.
Oh, before we get
Well, I mean, it was 40 degrees out, Scobo. We definitely weren't sleeping outside. We
But
were
you
sleeping-
said you were troopers. What happened to troopers?
That's
What happened to troopers?
What happened to
Indeed.
troopers,
that's
man?
holy
We only
cow.
brought like
Chat, we are talking about
blankets.
troopers, TROUPERS, rather
You
than
can't just sleep on Go Fest. That's
TROOPERS.
Let's see here. The event was Cashmere Clouds at Big Clouds Farm in Jones, Michigan. Let's see, southwest corner of Michigan, down there near Indiana, not too far from Chicago, Illinois. You know, some areas like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a equidistant, probably even from Wisconsin. There was probably everybody from all over the place there. Decent crowd. You know, well put on event. You know, I'm sure I have plenty of constructive criticism here and there. There was, you know, maybe there could have been a couple extra food trucks because the food trucks ran out of food early, some stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah, you know, that shit happens. You know, you can't count on the weather cooperating. It was a little cold and rainy. Whatever, man. They accommodated the best they can. They brought out the hay bales and took care of the mud early in the morning so that none of the attendees had to deal with that. So that was nice. I mean, I'm used to the smell of hay at festivals, so I don't mind it. You know, at first that might be a little bothersome to some people, but that's what you have to do when there's rain. If there's rain, there's going to be hay. It's the only real way you can sop that shit up when there's a ton of mud, and that's what it is. You're in an old farm pasture and shit like that. So you got what you have to work with. You know, a lot of the medical cannabis community was there, and it was really cool to see everybody. It's good to see. Honestly, man, limited amount of people because Becca and I were really busy. You know, it was just the two of us taking care of the booth. So neither one of us really got a chance to venture, and honestly, the whole loop was so big. Lots of vendors. You know, it was good. There was a lot of varieties, you know, for people to choose from, which is good. A lot of access points, if you will.
And
some
like different delivery methods as well. It's not just flour or edibles, you know.
it's not. Well, there's all
Yeah,
kinds
man.
of.
I
And
got
there's
mine
art
right up
vendors.
here, sequence. Right
Lots
there.
of
Shout out
art.
to Astro Charlie.
Speaking of art vendors, Charlie was one of the art vendors, hanging out there side by side with myself and Becca here. And let me think here. You know, I'd say the only constructive criticism, you know, some vendors did feel outed because they were left maybe out of the foot traffic way and they didn't get as much foot traffic and things like that. I could definitely feel for them. That would have wrecked our time for sure. You know, being small batch as we are and, you know, small scale, we're not there with our entire room full of stock. You know, we're there with a little bit to supply the crowd for the weekend, what we think we could sell. And that's if we're busy, right? You know, so if we're not busy, we're not going to make our money back. And us as caregivers, if we don't make our money back, we may not attend the next event. And if a whole bunch of caregivers don't attend these events, then it's only large scale cannabis operators pushing $500 packs. Now we're in the same argument and or trouble that we are with large corporate cannabis. So, I mean, we really have to be able to continue our market, you know, in a lot of ways. I'd say the only real complaint that I had out of the entire weekend has nothing to do with the event or the way that the event was organized at all. Or I guess it maybe subtly it does have to do with it in a slight way, but really I'm definitely here to call out somebody for bad form. I have no idea who you are, but you do. If you watch this and see this, total bad form, man. Somebody set up a fire ring 4 to 5 feet from my soft top truck, brand new truck, while Becca and I were about to be sleeping in it.
That's some bullshit.
Imagine that thing goes up in flames while her and I are in it. 4 feet, bro. 4 feet.
It was
Even
like
if you're just
I
parked.
looked down.
No,
out
it doesn't
of
even
the
matter
truck.
that you guys were in it. Even if you were just parked, it could damage your fucking car.
Sure.
You peel
Yeah.
the paint and shit.
Rack-
Gets
rack-
fine.
Just
paint,
ashes falling out.
destroy my vinyl windows. Ember burns through my rag top, right? Despite or aside from what it costs or what I paid for it, am paying for it, right? Not mine. we had a spot that was it. So let's imagine a grass parking lot, right? With let's
Grassy
have
knoll.
let's have imaginary lines put out. I originally parked in a spot that has a spot for an open parking spot next to it. And that open parking spot was going to be for my tent. So I'm like, okay, I got to run and give Becca this last load of, whatever it was. And then, or no, I needed to grab the tent because I stupidly unloaded the tent, right? So I go to grab the tent real quick and I'm like, I'm going to grab this last spot because we were going to load all of our stuff. We slept in the truck because it's warmer. We load all of our stuff that's important, clothes, some shit like that, cooler in the tent. That stuff can stay in the tent. So we're going to put that in a parking spot next to us as some other vendors were doing. There's a couple different parking lots. There's a parking lot for attendees. There's a parking lot for vendors. Then there's like a campground area and stuff like that. Can't put my tent with my cooler and shit that far from my truck. Can't leave my truck unattended with all my shit because we're sleeping in the truck. You know what I mean? We need to, that's our campsite. Truck is the campsite. So we see other tents parked out in the vending parking lot. So we're like, okay, cool. We can camp. We can put a tent in the vending parking lot. So we put, I go to get the tent put up and there's a car there. So I'm like, okay, cool. I go to move my truck. So I move my truck 3 spots away from a tent. That means that there's 2 open spots in between a tent and myself. Unload, gone for the entire day. I mean, I'm there in the morning, park my truck. I set up my tent on the other side of the truck, not even in between, the tent and myself or whatever. On the other side of the truck, I put my tent. Got all my gear in the tent all day, cooler and everything like that, stashed in the tent. We're doing our thing, vending all day, doing the thing. We come back 10, 11 o'clock at night. We take like an hour to reorganize everything so we can like have a place to sleep, pumping up the mattress, doing everything, got everything going on. We're in the truck. I'm putting up the curtains, doing the thing. And that's when she's like, there's somebody lighting a fire next to us. I'm like, okay, cool. There's going to be a bonfire next to us. Putting up the curtain, whatever. I look out the window. No, like next to us in the parking spot. That means that there's a tent, 2 parking spots, and then our truck. Tent, they skipped the parking spot and went to the parking spot next to our truck. Why don't you move it closer to your tent, guy? I go, what are you guys doing, man? You're putting a fire right next to our tent. They go, well, we're premium vendors. We paid a lot of money for our booth, and they told us we could be here. And I go, well, what? And I'm like, well, can't you move that closer to your tent? We don't want to put a hole in our tent. Bad form, dude.
But you'll keep them in your fucking.
What did I do? Well, I didn't want to make a big deal out of it because I'm there with a ragtop truck. A razor blade cuts through my windows. I'm not fucking dealing with this shit. You know what I mean? I don't have $3,000 to buy a new fucking window or top of the truck. That's an insurance fucking claim I don't want to deal with. Got the brand new fucking truck. I'm not going to deal with you. So in my eyes, it should have been roped off or whatever for them to think that they had their space to have their little fire and all that bullshit to take up 3 parking spots. It is what it is. So I fucking moved and I moved my tent kitty corner in a different direction so that our heads could be.
How long did that take?
Another hour. And well, actually I did it in about 5 seconds because I was so fucking pissed off. I was furious, dude. I didn't say 2 words. I got back in the truck and she goes, what'd they say? I go, bunch of shit about sucking dick.
Did you peel out and fucking throw dirt all over their fire?
No, but I left my lights on for a long ass fucking time. I hope that bothered them.
Who was sucking dicks?
That's
what I want to know.
Something going on. What the fuck?
Bad form, dude. Bad form, man. 2 people in the fucking truck. You could have really fucking injured. Not happy about it, man. Really not. Otherwise, it was a great fucking event. I saw a lot of really cool people.
What, Red?
What makes it the most annoying?
I can't believe somebody would even think to do that, man. What kind of logical knucklehead nonsense, man? Seriously.
Well, the thing that annoyed me the most is
this industry.
They knew it was a danger to their tent, but they were fine putting it right next to your truck. What the fuck?
Exactly.
Right. No, they were doing it intentionally. No fucking reason why. I didn't do shit to you guys.
Hey, you know what, man? I will say this is, I'm sure that we've all been guilty at some point of the whole hooray for me and to hell with everybody else. But one thing that cannabis has definitely taught me is to go along to get along without selling out my principles You know what I mean? I pick my battles, and otherwise, fuck it, man. Let's just get high and
Hell
try to
yeah.
have a good time and be considerate of other people and their
That's the whole point,
positions.
man. We're there to get high and have a good time at an event. Our enemy is corporate cannabis and the MCMA. And now at this point, other entities coming in and bottoming out our market. That's neither here or there. But the point that is here is that we should all be in this together and not in competition so heavily against each other that we need to be out here trying to burn down each other's fucking livelihoods. So
Or ragtops.
or ragtops. Yeah. But anyways,
The
man,
rant is
on the
over.
happier
You were the
side
bigger
of things.
person.
I didn't say shit. I didn't say one fucking word. I didn't say. This is the first time I probably never said one fucking word about some shit either.
I was surprised.
Got right back in my truck. Just fucking moved. I'm not getting my fucking.
I'm proud of you, bro. You got to take the high road sometimes, huh? The higher road is the real road. The real
I hadn't even
path.
smoked a joint yet, dude. All I want to do is get out of my fucking dirty ass jeans and smoke a doobie, man. That's
All I want to
it.
do is zoom, zoom, zoom,
it,
zoom, in a vroom,
Where
vroom.
you can't be wearing skinny jeans for
Shake
18
your
hours and fucking trying to rock around a truck.
You know what the best part about that though is, Red? That it's in the past.
I know.
It's in the
great.
rear view mirror, baby.
Great.
You
It's
know,
even better if I don't have to worry about an incident like that again.
What's that, Painted Lady?
I like to operate on the whole concept of karmas. There was some bad fucking karma you just.
Hey,
absorbed.
you know what's
You're good for a while.
awesome? It rained like a motherfucker the next night. It rained like a motherfucker. Guess where we were? In a nice dry ragtop truck.
There you go.
A
It was
non-burned top.
fucking awesome.
With
And
a hole
the
in it.
entire time I was laughing my ass off about how fun their party is and their little fire, you know. It was nice.
Fire
you
marshal
just
It was
can't
Red.
have
nice.
anything nice, Red.
I totally
the
was
problem.
digging. No, I saw it too. I was like, this is the karma. I was like, yes, the karma came. This is fucking awesome.
When I had 4 dogs at the same time, I just gave up on ever having anything nice.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Yeah.
You know,
Everything
I'm like,
slobber
that's what I
first.
get.
Okay.
Boots,
I just
sure.
can't have anything nice. That's
This is
that's
what I
all
get.
there is to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and now she's got stuff smelling like Fritos.
Oh,
I have
Things
my
like- you
special
just have
blanket
to-
smells like Fritos.
dog's feet smell like popcorn.
you got to
Yeah.
have your attitude like, you know, the rain can't wash you out. You know, the rain didn't wash us out. We
It's
were all right.
fine.
We were okay.
Yeah. I'm
Silver
glad
linings,
nothing
man.
happened to it.
Silver
That's-
linings. That's what it
They,
is.
they had a good
That's
event
the good
space, honestly,
part.
for rain. Everywhere that like they had the vending and everything was at like the ridge of a hill, so it was really nice in that regard. There was no like valleying. I didn't see any flooded campsites or anything like that because it rained like all for like 4
And
hours.
it was on like a really slight hill, so
Slight hill, everything kind of rolled away, so it was kind of
it
nice.
worked.
Solid
I just-
event space, man. It really is.
I just
Good
want to
event
know, Red, were you able to wook foot? Were you wook
I really wanted to, man. I was getting ready. It was a little cold out and stuff. I got freshly clipped talons, so I was
Okay.
wanting to get them
Clipped
out.
your hooves
out.
up
Yep,
on
yep.
vacation.
I was
Not
unfamiliar.
to
With the
die.
territory. A little unfamiliar with the territory.
We
so.
were really behind the booth the whole time.
Yeah, and we were really behind schedule getting there. So,
Fashionably
and
late.
honestly, if I did miss anybody, I apologize. I didn't really walk around or do any of that kind of stuff because we were just the two of us working and kind of
They were
behind
working and
schedule.
walking around too.
And yeah, we were behind schedule. And like when I would leave her alone, I feel bad because I was like doing, you know, helping way out, and she was like talking, and we're both there for like information, and it was reasonably busy with attendees and people wanting
I
wanting
would say
information,
we
so-
talked to most people that came.
Did you meet some
Yeah.
cool people?
yeah, man. Yeah,
Right.
everybody
People who knew what they
everybody was
were-
so cool,
Knew
dude.
what to look for.
Yep,
That was
yep.
cool.
And everybody's there for different shit, and it's cool because, like you guys said, man, there's all kinds of different products there, and there's different kinds of vendors there. There's vendors for like, you know, like people with small scale, people with large scale, like a little bit of everything.
That's the
man.
beauty of cannabis. Like I
Right.
was telling you this morning, is that the crazy quilt of cannabis fucking covers all walks of life, man. If you've been to enough of these events, you've seen everything. You've seen every kind of walk of life person. I was gonna say, well, I didn't see a person in a suit, but then I thought, no, dude, there's that dude that walked around in that fucking weed suit. So, I mean, you got suits, you got prom dresses, you got.
Oh, shout out to
people picking
dude,
it out.
the dude. I didn't catch your name. Who was there? He might have been part of the Michigan Weedsters or something. He had a big sky suit on. Top and bottom was a blue sky and puffy clouds. Brightens up the day when you see that dude walking by, a big headband, you know.
Just one of the guys running it.
It might have been one of the dudes helping run it or something. Yeah, maybe the Weedsters are part of that. Yeah, dude, awesome show up, awesome turnout, crowd. You know, and I want to remind everybody, because, you know, I see a lot of this around, you know, that there is a lot of smoke and mirrors, or not to be confused with some of the smoke and mirrors. Like, we have all this stuff right now going on legislative, you know what I'm saying?
Legislatively?
Yeah, legislatively, against caregivers and stuff like that. And we're fighting for caregivers at the state level, the local level, and all this other stuff. But we also need to fight for caregivers in the traditional market, gray market level as well. Like I said, you know, if the market is bottoming out to the point where caregivers can't make their money back at these events, the caregivers are going to stop showing up. The access points are going to slow down. They're going to roll out, and we're only going to have large pack manufacturers. And these may not be in state from Michigan to be providing this kind of weight at a ticket that I'm not going to say. You're going to have to show up to find out. It's product comes in, and then client comes in, both from out of state. The exchange is made, and then they both leave the state. Nothing stays in the state, and nothing is there to better our economy. So here, as all caregivers and producers and everything, consumers in Michigan, specifically, or in whatever state you are, you know, when you come up from wherever you are, you know, and you support us, or we go to where you are and we support you or whatever, you know, that helps your local economy and stuff. Coming in and then leaving, and the entire thing leaves, and hopefully you at least stop and get dinner or something like that with somebody, or spend some other money on some art vendors or something like that. You know, help support our economy as well if you do utilize us, because it's important, man. We struggle to keep these events going, and then if the caregiver stops showing up, these events may not happen, you know, and then some of these other entities may not have ways of communicating to their networks either. So we don't want this entire thing to shut down.
I've started a GoFundMe for my utility bill. It's under Go Fuck Yourself at .com.
Hell
No.
yeah!
Instead of GoFundMe,
I
it's
know
Go
what you're
Fuck
saying, though,
Yourself.
Red. We do, you know, it's tough. Like, I'm reducing my room down in half. I'm not making my money back. So I hear you. And it sucks. So everybody support your local caregivers.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
I'm either
100%.
growing my own, buying your shit, or buying something from one of my caregiver friends. I just try to keep my, you know what I mean? You got to support the community that you love being a part of, guys. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
It's a great community, man. And it's really cool to see all kinds of people walking by and supporting everybody. Like, little people will buy a little bit off of you, a little bit off of you. I should be using different language, and I apologize. Making donations to these such folk, or you know, paying them for their time. Honestly, you know, we're all consultants in this game. We're all teaching, we're all educating, and then people donate their offerings to our time. So it's a great market we have.
The system works.
And at the same time, people can still do things like at local level or state level and reach out to the people that are supposed to be representing our best interests and let them know what you feel. Because, for example, they just pushed through House Bill 5512. Not too high. I've been dabbing. 55. Fuck. How do I
Yeah,
not
you're
know?
right.
Okay, whatever
5512.
number is.
Okay, 5512, which they had to get a 3/4 majority, which we thought would be hard for them to do. But it was pushed through by a bunch of judges, and the reason for it was there's a recent Supreme Court decision in Michigan that overruled what the judges thought they could do, and basically it was just upholding the law, saying that cannabis is a medicine, you have to be treated that way. And for drug court, which is an optional thing, somebody was able to use cannabis where they thought they shouldn't be able to. And so they wanted to take that right away and allow judges to determine whether they should or shouldn't be able to use cannabis for some reason, and it got pushed through.
You know
So,
what, man? That's
it's still
extra
got to go to
fucking.
it's still got to go to the other side and get voted on, and then it's still got to get put through by the governor. So we still can write to our senators now instead of our congressman. I emailed my congresswoman actually from in my district.
It just
And
seems
then-
like it's extrajudicial fucking punishment, man. Because you're telling me that if things were different, that you would take my high blood pressure pills away, that
It's
you would take
difficult.
my fucking psych pills away from me as part of my punishment. You know what I mean? Like
It's
cannabis
difficult
is.
because it's
Mm.
difficult because we're common citizens and we're talking to a lawmaker
You speak
who
for
in the
yourself.
other ear they have judges saying this is the way it should be, and we're the judges, we know the law, and this is the
Judges
way it should
interpret
be.
the law. They don't know
Yeah,
it.
and what we're trying to say to them is judges know the law. They aren't doctors. The doctors who gave the recommendation know what the fucking issue is, and they should make the determination, not the judge. You're allowing a judge to practice law. They're not doctors. They're not trained doctors. And
Practice.
the judges, the judge side of the things, the MCMA side. I don't think the MCMA has anything to do with this, but maybe. But the judge side of this is, well, we'll just get a doctor to testify. Well, excuse me, Mr. High and Mighty Judge who lives on your Ivy Tower. Do you think a doctor is going to fucking give up all their fucking schedule for the day to come testify for one fucking patient for free? And do you think a person who's going through a program like that has a lot of money at their disposal to pay a fucking doctor to come out and testify for them? You're basically just passing another racist fucking, not only racist, but fucking against all fucking anybody who doesn't have wealth. It just fucking pushes it back down. But, it is what it is. It's hard when you're pushing against judges. It's hard to even be considered your opinion. But I'm still going to be emailing my senator, and then I'll be emailing my governor, Gretchen Whitmire, and tell them what I think. I was
That's all
pretty
you really can do,
scathing in the
man.
one. I didn't even get a response from my congresswoman. She usually responds to me, but I was pretty scathing in it. And
You didn't get a
maybe I
reply on that
offended her.
one.
I don't know. I might have went too far.
Letters to the editor.
I was just saying, I wasn't terrible. I was just saying how I was embarrassed that they even got through committee, something that despicable. And
And again though, with all that smoke and mirrors,
sounds like more mirrors.
the
than
whole
smoke.
reason that the MCMA has this push to push us away is because they think that the caregivers are the ones that are flooding the market and all this stuff, when the reality is, I'm not going to say the states, but there's about 3 or 4 of them that are the ones flooding our market. You know what I mean? It's not us caregivers. Some of it is. There's large facilities that these aren't caregiver operations, guys.
there's absolutely
They're not
illegal
caregiver
activity.
operations.
Guess what? That's illegal activity already. That
Right,
doesn't need a
exactly.
law change for that.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that they say too. They come back to, oh, this example of an illegal activity, or oh, this example of illegal activity, and it's like, you idiots, that's already illegal. What are you talking about?
Did I get
Oregon had a
vibes from you
surplus.
with that you idiot bit there?
Oregon had
Idiot.
a $1 million surplus 3 years ago. That's probably still making its way around in the form of $300 packs or something of some sort.
That's a whole lot of ounces.
Oh yeah, if it doesn't,
Yeah, no doubt.
if it's not going to pass in Michigan, it'll go somewhere else.
Well, not necessarily saying that it's for. I mean, it could be going into the regulated market also, and I could see that happening and getting washed into some CRC or something. But I think that it's just coming in and flooding our black market also. Just the same.
I think they'll sell. I think they've got easier states they have to go through to get to us to where they
do, but a lot of those states don't have events like we're putting on in Michigan.
That's a good point. I didn't consider that.
That's what I'm saying is these events that are happening that you would think would be caregivers and craft have out of state entrepreneurs posted up bottoming out our market. And that's what's going to mess with the small guy, which is going to mess with the event and it's in the hole. You know what I mean?
Dude,
It'll
I've kept my
it's
card for
gonna
10
change the
fucking
event.
years, and I just renewed it a month and a half ago, and for another 2
Good.
years. You know
Well,
what I
I'll tell
mean?
you what. The one thing that I would be looking at too, and maybe you know this maybe already, but you know, just like when the MCMA didn't get a lot of action on the positive action on the state level, they just pushed at the local level. And guess what's going to happen if they get stopped at the local level? They're going to start pushing at these events. So, I mean, I would be, you know, don't turn you back to that either. So
no, you can't. You can't. Fortunately, a lot of these events are under the guise of like they are allowed through the township. So the local police already know that they exist, you know, unless the state finds a way to bust it up, you know. You know, they're legal. They're good to go. I mean, it's private property.
I'm just saying, I'd make sure my stuff was easily packed up quickly.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Certainly.
It was also a service dead zone. No,
There was a service dead zone. Yeah, that was kind of
in
rough.
that area.
That's kind of a common
For us,
thing,
Really?
personally.
unless
For us
it's in
personally.
Detroit.
Some people had spotty signals. Some people had decent signal, but you know,
I don't know. I don't think anyone had service.
it was. But that's the middle of nowhere. I get no service up north, and
That reminds me
a
of
lot
when
of AT&T has rough access. There's no. Speaking of safe access, AT&T has none. Go ahead, Scobo.
I used to have problems in Clio, man. I would be trying to message people and meet up with them and shit, and the messages wouldn't get sent through. And I'm like, fuck, man.
Dude,
I really hope I can fucking catch Eagle, you know what I mean, before he takes off. And, you know,
like at High Times or something.
yeah, at the old High Times Cups, man.
Me too, dude. I think it was just 'cause there's so many people. I think that was
fucking
more
floods it, man.
That was another pipeline for out of state product coming in too. High Times. You know, speaking of Clio and that whole like Clio County, or I don't know if it's Clio County or whatever it is, but Genesee County, Genesee County Compassion Club. That's a safe access point, and that's a place of caregivers, and that you're not going to find.
Yeah.
You might find out of state product because
Vehicle City.
You know, I mean, maybe a caregiver is able to source, you know, something good for cheap from somebody at one of these events or whatever it ends up happening. It's all, you know, accessible product, you know, maybe it's good, it's clean, it's tested. You know, I'm not gonna dog on any of this product or anything. I'm just kind of dogging on the manner in which the economy is working. But otherwise, you know, let's just say for access wise, you know. So, you know, GC3 is a great place to source, man. And if you know, what's nice is that they run a pretty tight ship in the sense that like if you're somebody who wants to vend or meet up there with your patients, you need to have the credentials, and you can't be over your limits and things like that, which I like. Becca and I went in there, you know, she's got a lockbox and I've got a lockbox as caregivers. You know, that way we can keep ourselves within the parameters of the handcuff, bro. Yeah. And if either of us are over our weights, well, you know, we'll just take our misdemeanors. If that's the case, if we're over our weights, we don't have cards. You know what I mean? We're not caregivers at that point. If I'm over my weight, I'm just not a caregiver. I'm just going to take the misdemeanor.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know,
I think it's only a $500 fine.
Yeah. Fuck it.
There's a good question for you in chat. It said they're asking how does one learn about these events? Is there a place where they're listed? And for me, I'm not any pro or anything. I just hear it through Instagram usually.
Yeah, through these channels. We kind of talk about it on the show here and there.
You know, it's kind of the thing that we've always tried to be responsible and you know, word of mouth, pass these things on, and you know, we've always tried to tap into the community. So if we hear about something, or if one of us is going to be at an event, we always try to shout it out. But there are some, you know, like there's a cannabis event, Michigan. Holy shit! Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, I thought that's what was going on.
Let them know, chat. Let them know who's paying attention, who's super stoned, and who's not.
Yeah.
I'm not even smoking. See, I don't even know how to put these headphones on.
But you're not the one that's confused. This fucking bullshit. What the fuck, man?
I can't hear you guys.
I think that's a lot better.
It's so weird to see you with headphones on.
It's so awesome.
It's so loud. I can't hear myself.
And then you hear yourself talk. It's weird.
Indubitably.
I don't like it. But yeah. We're just having a little fun over here at the house.
Webcam fun.
Hell yeah.
It's so dark. I'm gonna go back to my desk.
You're getting a compliment on that hat. painted lady.
Charlie's very entertained.
Astute, yes.
And in chat that the pop event is quite impressed. They went to the pop event a few times and was quite impressed.
I've camped there in like the 70s, but I can't remember. It's somewhere up there. You know, there's like that whole point in Michigan where it becomes like air quotations up there.
Yeah,
Upstate.
that's everything. Yeah, that's the thing that. Yeah, I said, man, we need more of this local. Man, it's killing me driving all over the state.
We got.
But I
lucky
did. I
for,
want to shout out. I want to shout out Diamond Organics on Instagram, and
Diamond the dog.
Diamond the
Organics.
dog.
I
Shout
want
out
to
to Diamond the
say,
dog.
if
I see her.
I'll have to pull up his Instagram. He might have a dog on his profile picture. I can't remember. And the graphic. It's blue.
What?
White.
There is no other dog named Diamond
No
but
other
Diamond.
dog.
Oh,
But
DIA,
his daughter's going through a lot, and one of the things she's dealing with is a brain tumor. And so I drove out to the west side of the state on Sunday and got some RSO to him. So I'm hoping, because that was Sunday morning, because Monday he was expecting to get his second doctor. What do they call that? Doctor
oncologist.
Recommendation.
I can't say
Opinion.
prescription. Yeah, recommendation. You got it. Doctor recommendation. So that means anyone under the age of 21 has to have the second. It's not just one doctor. You have to have two doctors recommend it, and then the parent has to be the caregiver, I believe. So it's kind of a
couple of hoops.
A lot of hoops. Yeah, a lot of hoops. And so,
Do they have access to someone who will sign their paperwork? Who will do that for them?
The second doctor.
you're saying for as a caregiver, or what are you saying?
No, do they have access to get their credentials passed through at
The
those?
other doctor.
Yeah, like
Yeah, they have the doctor. They've already got it all done. They're just
Oh,
they
okay.
had the
Okay, cool.
appointment for Monday, and that
Okay, cool.
that paperwork counts until the physical card actually comes or whatever.
Yeah, there's that
So
little interview.
there's going to be
They're
no
pretty
break.
quick though
Yeah.
now, man.
You
It's
can
not
have the medicine there for
Oh,
her.
You're approved that day. It's
You have
you're approved that
access.
day, dude.
Yeah.
You don't have the physical card that day, but you might get it within a week.
Right, but keep that paperwork because that's your card until the paperwork comes. But yeah, or actually no, because you put it in, you verify it that day on the online now.
We've got a close friend who's a physician, and she will sometimes have issues with the way that the Lara program's set up,
site?
and so sometimes things will just kind of be in purgatory for a couple of days, and that will be an issue till she can it'll actually come in front of her screen. But when she approves it, you know what I mean, is able to actually like do the stuff with the patient and stuff like that, which is incredibly simple. You know what I mean? Everything's done. Everything can be done online.
Yeah.
And it all works out super easy.
You
You
get
know,
an email with that
you
code.
online for
Yeah.
your doctor-patient relationship, which is awesome.
No.
What'd you say, Becca?
You get the code in an email like as soon as the physician approves it.
But yeah, the important thing was I wanted to make sure that she had the medication as soon as she was able to use it, and I wanted to be there and have a talk with them about dosage, which she was already well versed in it, so it made my job real easy.
Yeah, it's nice.
But that should be enough medicine to keep them supplied for a long time because she's juvenile. You have to start like even smaller doses.
This touches my heart. This is the reason I'm in cannabis. This exact story is neuroblastoma. My cousin had when I was 12 years old. And
does that affect your eye or something, or your brain?
No, that's brain tumor. Yeah, hers was the size of a softball. She lived in Florida. They brought her up to U of M here to remove it. They didn't get it all. It ended up spreading within a couple of years. She was no longer with us. She was like 18, super young. I was super young, dude. I was 12, 13, on the verge of understanding what cannabis was helping out in California. It was 96, 97, maybe 98 or something like that when I was learning, California was opening up with medical, I was seeing that they were using it for cancer patients and things like that, and wanting to understand that. And in this entire time, I was just thinking, man, maybe cannabis, if it was legal, or if she had access to this medicine, maybe she'd still be around. And that's what really got me learning about it. Like in the beginning, at like 12, 13 years old, I just started diving into it solo dolo. I didn't talk to friends or anything about it. It was just me and the internet, you know, and
Me and the purple bic.
yeah, and forums and shit like that. And then the purple bic when I was young. I was 18, 19.
That's a throwback to like those
20,
first
something
couple
like
of
that.
late sessions, right? Those way old ones.
I took a seed down in the woods when I was like 14 years old and tried popping it, you know, or I popped it in my window, man, and grew myself out a little plant in my window. And I was like 14. My mom, daddy read, I apologize. You guys had no idea. I don't know if you saw it. Mom said she was wondering what the hell's growing in my window one time. I told her it was a oak tree or some seed that I found outside. I eventually tried taking it down to the woods because it was like this tall, you know, it was a nice little plant. And I took it down. It was just in my window, you know, it was in spring and then around May, June. Took it down to the woods. I went on vacation for the week. The buddy that I took it down to the woods for tried selling me a little jar of weed. You motherfucker. Tried selling me my own fucking little weed plant.
Tried to fleece you with your own shit.
First seed I popped, man. I popped successfully. I learned to pop it through my like 6th or 7th grade science class. So we were learning how to like do the
the beans or whatever.
Growing the beans. Yeah, we put
You
them
thought
in
you
a
were gonna
petri
create
dish.
your first bread.
Oh. Petri dish and everything, man. So I mean, it goes back since then, man, and it's to help the patients, man.
It's
and
a
that's
passion.
it. That's it, dude. It's a passion project. We're not out here trying to trap. We're not out here trying to move weight. We're not out here trying to, you know. I was having this discussion with Charlie, you know, and we were talking about like hashers needing mono runs and things like that. And we're just like, when a lot of people ask, like, why don't you like collaborate with this person or that person? It's like, because I just don't have enough weight to give that person. I just don't. I'm small batch. At most, I got like a 4x8 of a single strain. You know what I mean? I mean, we run a 6 light, a total of 12 light, you know, we talk about square footage or whatever, you know, if we want to, but like when we're talking about the amount of 4x4s that I have, it's multi-strain and there's no more than like a 4x4, like 4 to 6 to 8 plants of a single strain. And when we're talking bottoms, I strip my bottoms. I don't have a lot of larf. I smoke my larf. I don't have a lot of stuff to freeze. Just don't have material. You know what I mean? And all top end stuff, it goes to the patients for their access. And it's gone, man. I have a few patients and I need all these strains for my patient. I cannot mono. If I mono, I lose all my patient base because I don't have variety. And I'm my biggest patient. She's my biggest patient. We are our biggest patients. If we don't have a variety, we don't get well. You know what I mean? So this is how you stay small. And I don't know. I guess keep it humble too on our end.
Well, I wanted to shout out Kazoo too, because not only that, let me see if I can get my hand right. Not only did he draw that and send it to me, which was badass.
What is it?
That's my face. I wish I could. Hold on, I'll just grab it.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, there.
Look.
That's me with a big old beard and a pipe and a wizard hat on.
Yeah, man.
Fucking badass. And that's.
Shit, my eyes are terrible and I'm not seeing it, even though I've seen it before. I like the grandma.
You and your bionic arm is cracking me up.
Sorry, everything's bad, and I'm high. Fuck. But anyways, when I went up to visit them, he had mentioned that Kazoo had just donated him money to help him with his daughter. So I mean, she's even lost an eye in this thing, so it's a lot.
Dude, this is awesome. Yeah, I really, really, really hope the best. That I will, privately, would really love to know the progress of the cannabis on what's going on with that exact condition, man.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to keep me updated. And I told him, when you have a tube left, let me know, or 2 tubes left, let me know, so I can be sure to make sure you're uninterrupted. You always have.
Yep, and I know you have an endless supply, but we as well have endless supplies for you. So,
well, I'm about to procure.
I was just going to say, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, procure a new toy. So, with the help of Winewood, thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate you. I'm going to probably be a new owner of a 5-liter Rotovap with an interesting dry ice and not a ice chiller or not a water chiller, but a dry ice. So I want to see how this thing works.
Can we
But
bring up
uses
a
dry
quick
ice to
little
chill.
video of it, of what that is? Because not everybody knows what a rotovap is.
Ooh. Yeah, I bet you if you just Googled rotovap, it would bring up something very, very similar.
So can you do 5 liters of wash material at once?
It's got a 5 liter. It's got a 5 liter vessel to start. So yeah, it would look. Well, hold on. It would be like
So
it'd be
maybe like 60% of the vessel.
There it
So
is. Look at that.
So it'd be like a 5 liter beaker, just like this. So you wouldn't fill it up all the
You
way.
wouldn't fill it up all the
top.
way. So maybe
But
like
yeah,
60%.
But you get a gallon,
Get a
which
gallon.
is double,
Okay.
which is double what you can do in the Ito, because you can throw a gallon in Ito, but you can only fucking collect a half gallon without stopping it.
How much are you putting? Yeah, I have to stop it. How much are you putting in your Ito at a time? Because I'll fill it up with
Half gallon.
It's a half gallon. I'll do 2 ball jars, which is
I do 2 ball jars, 6
2 ball. Okay, all right.
Oh, that's sweet.
There you go. There's a rotovap.
That's some
right there.
science shit, man.
Yeah, well, that's what I started doing some research. I'm like, okay, what do I got to get besides this Ito?
So what is it actually doing? Because I'm science
it's
stupid.
A still. It's basically a still. I could do distillate in this if I wanted to. I could do steam distillation, or I could just make RSO in it, and I'm distilling an alcohol solvent.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what you're doing is I could take lavender, and if I wanted to, like most of the herbal tinctures are like a lower
Steam.
alcohol base, not like the 190. It's usually like 151 or less even. But they like to mix it with water because a lot of the herbs are in the compounds are water soluble and not alcohol soluble. And the alcohol is so astringent that it will pull a lot of things like chlorophyll and other things. So they like to have it more diluted. So I could do things like that where I could do different herbal tinctures that I could just grow herbs and pull tinctures if I wanted to, or make, I could extract terpenes if I want. I could grab a bunch of lemon peel and put it in a solvent and boil off the solvent and then have just straight limonene if I wanted to.
Yeah, man.
But I'm not going to do any of that shit. I'm going to make RSO. And that's
so on that, for like a control module for that, does that have like a unit where you're setting, how high the temperature or the rotation of it or anything?
Yeah, so it's modular, and so all these things you can upgrade to different ones that are better or more fancy or have different options. But the basic concept is you got the beaker. Not the beaker. You got your solvent and your mix, your tincture, we'll say, in here, and then that sits into a water bath. That sits right into a water bath, so it's like almost like a sous vide. It's where the temperature is controlled, really constantly there, because you're in water and that holds temperature well. And you just set the temperature on the device of what you want the water to be. That's going to set your temperature for the what you're boiling off at. And you have to remember, and you have to look up all these on the fucking table for ethanol, but and under vacuum, because everything's going to be under a vacuum too. This is hooked to a vacuum pump.
A pump. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's just like an Ito, but the laboratory version. And so that beaker's sitting in the water bath and it's spinning, which is really cool. The rotation spin keeps everything stirred, so you don't have to worry about ever burning it. So you should be getting
temperature.
Yeah, so like the same color as the tincture. If you got like a honey colored tincture, it's a beautiful pull. It should be that same color fucking RSO at the end, because as long as you have that rotation going enough, it won't burn. It won't turn black at all.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Then everything will travel up that as it evaporates. The alcohol will evaporate up. And then it goes
like
into
a still.
It goes, yeah, it's like a still. I don't remember the name of this thing that collects it. It's like the condenser.
Condensing coil.
Yeah, condensing coil is what Purple Thumb says.
Usually it's a glass fucking coil encased in a glass tube.
Super old timey looking
coil. You hook up to a water chiller and you put cold water through that. So when the gas runs through that, it condenses back into it. And there's another beaker at the bottom that it just collects all the alcohol. And but this one, I guess, is done somehow with dry ice. So I'm super interested in it because Eric was telling me that it ran way faster than the other one too because of that. So I'm really interested to see that in action.
How is collection going to be for that? Are you going to get it? How much are you going to cook it down before it comes out of there and goes to like a coffee warmer?
Depends on what all modules it has on it, but most of that's automated as far as I can set a time and tell it to stop, or
Right on. 6
or I
minutes,
can
Dougie
set the
Fresh. It'll be
rotation
hash time.
speed. But the beauty on how to collect it is you have to buy a beaker stand, but you just buy this stand. It's a heavy weight at the bottom, basically, with a stand on the back, and you clamp a clamp on the back of it at the right weight, and you turn your fucking flask upside down and hold it with a clamp, and it'll just fucking pour right out into mason jar, whatever you
Like
want to.
sands through an hourglass.
Yeah,
These
and you
are
just
the
walk away.
RSO.
You just walk away and let
These
the
are
RSO
oil.
just pour on, and yep.
Yeah, man.
Will it take it all the way down, or do you have to finish it off with a further heat source?
No, you could just you wouldn't need another heat source. You could just use the water bath. You could just up the temperature at the end if you wanted to. Take
in
it
the
to
jar or
in the beaker.
in the beaker. You would take up the temperature and just let it finish.
Well, what happens is the
boiling off.
beaker is submerged halfway into a vat of water,
Mhm.
and that water you can change the temperature on by adjusting the device. So you control the amount of evaporation by how hot you get it, basically.
Right.
It's gonna get longer syringes to draw that
boil
out.
it
Right?
all up into a paste if you wanted to. I mean, you can do that, but good luck getting it out.
Yeah.
No, what about
Scrape the walls and shit.
What about
pissed.
pre?
Like you could go by what I would go by is like how much you've collected. They give you a real good clue on like, okay, I know I had, I put 4 liters in there, or, almost a gallon, and I've collected, 3.99 gallons. I know I'm fucking close. I should probably pull it.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was
right
doing on the Ito. I pulled on the Ito like when I almost got all my alcohol back, and then I was like, there's still pretty runny, and I threw it in the glass in a Pyrex and put it in the oven for a little while, and it boiled off the rest of the way, and it was totally purged out. It's totally purged out, it just stops boiling, and then it's just like, and then you got to stop it though, because you don't want to burn at that point. At that point, you start burning.
I liked your
container.
Consistency on that, man. Like that was really easy to work with.
That stuff there, man. That was the first one. I didn't do the oven tech afterwards. That was only as far as the Ito would reduce it down.
Scuttle likes the green tincture.
That was like a crude tincture.
Sequence does not like the green tincture.
yeah. That was like a crude tincture that I put in those syringes.
Skillo just gives the awful advice.
Bro,
with the tincture,
bro.
Well, no, it is a good point.
Coffee.
It's a good point to alert people when it is.
Did it work?
That's
all. Hold on. Let's slam on the brakes. Did it work? Did it help?
I don't think it helped anything.
Someone at Spread the Spores made the bad mistake of giving somebody alcohol tincture that was in AA. It's always good to alert people. And
that's where you should, if you want to work with tinctures like that, you can resort back to ditch the alcohol and work with glycerin. The thing about glycerin is it doesn't extract as well as higher proof alcohol does, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work at all. So, probably 8-9 years ago, that was kind of predominantly what I was seeing in the dispensaries I was going to, was more of the glycerin style rather than the old alcohol style ones. Especially, if you're talking about, let's say that we have a cannabis patient that is under the age of 18. There's less of a conflict to be able to use glycerin if they can't, source alcohol or anything like that. There's an issue.
There's that too.
They can still find relief that way.
There's that also. Yeah, or just if you don't want alcohol in your system.
If that's not your gig, that's not your gig.
Yeah, it does have a sharp flavor. Spartan, what's your opinion on the quick wash before you
60 seconds.
Put it in your machine and you're doing your alcohol bath? I've heard 24 hours, I've heard 2 days, I've heard 5 minutes, I've heard just put it in and shake it for 30 seconds.
I think
what's your opinion on the shake for 30
what
seconds?
What color you want?
Do a quick wash.
How much chlorophyll?
I think it's really what's your end product. What's your goal with your end product? If you're wanting to make RSO, no, I want you to soak it for longer and try to pull more cannabinoids. But if you are trying to make maybe something that's a dabbable product or something that's you're wanting maybe to turn into an edible afterwards in you're worried about taste, then I would do the quick wash will give you close, better results that way. But I'm not, I'm after just the
Hashtag.
alcohol, the medicinal aspect,
Missed
and
you with
so
that, Red.
for a longer, and I usually do about 24 hours.
I've got 2 ball
I'll
jars.
go longer.
I got 2 ball jars soaking in the freezer. I believe I began soaking them October of 2019. That material is pretty well saturated at this point. I think it's going to go for topicals. It's not going to be an edible RSO. It's honestly just been a neglected couple of jars. You know what I mean?
Flour stuff.
Yeah, it's a bunch of couple jars. Well, it's filled with
There's still a
filled
couple
with
jars of
alcohol.
medicine, though, man.
Filled with alcohol. I mean, it's basically a soaking tincture, but they've been in the freezer, so I don't know if they've just been frozen in time or how much of that plant material has been broken down into that alcohol. Like if it's going to be like really.
I mean, if it's ever going to get
waxy.
out of it, it's out of it by now.
Yeah, and when I'm gonna cook it out, I don't want to waste the alcohol. Thing is, I want to get that alcohol back, even if I have to waste that material. But that material, I know, is still going to be good. I just
Was it the 190 that you were working with?
It was the 190 I was working.
Yeah.
Low grade Everclear. I think it was diesel or something like that.
It was
But
like 156. Yeah.
No. I go out of state to get my stuff, so it's still 95% alcohol. It's still 190 proof. But it's a different name. It's the same molecular formula. Everclear, diesel. There's a handful of them. Plastic bottle, glass bottle. It's the same shit, different filtering sometimes. Maybe different distillation, difference between 3 olives and Smirnoff or something like that.
Ooh, 3 olives painted lady.
Banger's getting gnarly chazzed.
It's no es bueno.
No bueno at all, dude.
3 olives was it 3 olives that had the Mountain Dew flavor?
Wow, that takes me back to childhood.
Well, for me that was like 10 years ago, but I was drinking that shit with some dew.
Sneaking swig handles out of the fucking cabinet and pouring them in my Mountain Dew is like a ripe young buck when I shouldn't have been. Sorry, Daddy Red.
I'm sure it's long since
alcohol was the culture. Shit.
Statute of limitations has expired as well, Red.
Everybody's
You
worried
ever
about
drank
kids.
Surge?
Oh,
That's totally 90s, isn't it? Or is that 2000s?
That was my gateway drug.
It's 90s,
Surge.
I think.
Yeah, Surge
Jolt
was my
for us,
Surge
even a
was
little bit
definitely
older.
my gateway drug. 100%. That was
Man, Surge
that
was
would
good.
that was what I would say was right before cannabis.
I like Jolt better. Surge was like
Same.
fruity.
Dude,
I
I
like
just
that
seen
Jolt
Jolt like
is
3 or 4
hard.
years ago.
I didn't like Jolt.
What?
I never liked Jolt.
I used to
Blasphemer.
drink it at the football games, and my friend and I used to think that we were like drunk because we were so cool because we were drinking Jolt and all
Oh,
hopped
man.
up on
Free energy.
caffeine.
Oh my god.
I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
Dude, I mean, the gas station attendant had no care in the world when a 12-year-old kid would go in there and buy 3 cans of Surge and just have these eyes like, I'm going to pound all 3 of these, motherfucker.
Hey,
No care
lady,
in
do
the
you
world.
remember No Dose?
Yeah. Oh God.
Used to be at
I-
the fucking
didn't
countertop
do
all the
them.
time.
Are we going to start talking about
Whoa.
stackers?
I didn't do them, Skill, but I refused even back then.
Amphetamine.
Dude, the Fedrin and amphetamine, man.
Ah.
I mean, come on, dude. The hypocrisy, dude. I love it. This is the conversation why I started Polarity Science. Is this hypocrisy conversation? You can
Cheap
buy
shameless
all
plug.
these,
That is Thursdays at 9 p.m.
all
over
these
on
cra-
the Polarity Science channel.
yeah. Shout out Cameron from
That's this week,
Spread
right?
the Spores. Spread the Spores is this week. He's gonna
got a
come
guest?
slide
Okay.
on our show. We got a guest this week, 9 p.m. Cam's gonna be on, and he's gonna talk about his events, and whatever else. I want to talk about his experience levels and things like that, and some stuff that he's done because he's worked with Bunk Police and things like that. Becca and I actually just signed up to be Bunk Police street team attendees, so hopefully we land that. We both have our fingers crossed. We want to spread the word. Hopefully we have like their stickers and pamphlets and shit like that to pass out. It's a cool point system. The more you participate, the more you gain access to larger stuff like events and things like that, which would be really cool because we'd be able to donate our time to help and go to festivals and shit like that and do what we do and
Cool.
pass out and help like work with this stuff. Their street team doesn't necessarily do actual drug testing and things like that, but you get to pass out the information and let them know where to go do that stuff.
We have to
And
clarify the
maybe
word drug testing here. That's kind of a really bugaboo word here. It has many connotations, guys.
reagent testing.
Thank
Reagent
you.
testing specifically. And spectrum analysis. Like you can actually detect how much of substances are in your substance with some bunk police kits. It's pretty cool. They have more advanced kits and features now. Similar, you can almost do your own lab testing. So if you want to know how much of a
Knowledge
substance
is power.
yeah, it really is, man. It really is. Especially nowadays, we have no idea what kind of dose it is.
Dude,
People
we
are
talked about that
microdosing for
last
mental
week,
health.
man. It's like, you know, the joke was that someone had like, I think it was, what was it, 1,200? I think it was something ridiculous.
1,200
like
mics. Oh yeah, 1,200 mics. Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, oh my God. And then Red was like, hey, wait, man. So
that's something familiar. Well, you can have 50 mics on a tab of blotter, or you could have 300 mics on a tab of blotter. And so
it's called the lucky dip, right?
Yeah. And it's all dependent on mishandling, how it's laid, all kinds of stuff. So I mean, you could think that, you know, 4 hits is going to be 4 hits, but that 4 hits could really be 8, 9, 12 hits.
Red, that shit used to come wrapped in either foil paper and the real OG way was to get it in a cigarette pack. You know where they take the plastic off the pack and they would drop them out in the bottom, and then they would use a lighter and they would, you know, twist it up and then seal it.
I used to keep mine right in my cigarette pack. Yeah, just like that, tabbed up in my cigarette pack. You know, that was the old days. Yes, sir. And I mean, you wouldn't even think about putting the heat to it. You know, heat.
No, that was always kept in the
stuff.
pocket of some sort. I'm gonna put it in my chest pocket. It won't get so hot. It won't.
Yeah, just make sure it doesn't get wet. You always hear the bad story of the dude with the sheet in the pocket and running through the sprinklers. I think that was just in that Devin Sawa movie, Around the Fire. I think that should happen. Or maybe it was. No, that was SLC Punk. SLC Punk. That's what happened. Dude had the sheet of acid, ran through the sprinklers, and then he was a can of orange juice or some shit. More propaganda.
Shout out to Mama Lo says it's all about math and saturation levels of the paper.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Saturation levels, paper. And I mean, you know, what happens to it after they try to
the last time you used it
you know?
and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, tolerance is so important. You know, if you do it today and then you do it tomorrow and you don't have the same effects, you take 3 and you're like, oh, that was weird.
The dragon every day.
Yeah, and then you take 3 the next time, you could have a much more intense experience. So it's all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm nothing more than 10th of a tab, 8th of a tab, you know, with a tolerance, half of a tab, you know. So a half a tab, I mean, can be a lot for somebody. It can be a lot. I mean, that's a lot. That's a dose that could be psychedelic
as well.
Yeah, it really is. Half a tab could get you there. It can get you. I mean, if it's dosed up like high, half a tab could get you there. So don't just think going for a full one.
You know what was really fucking cool today, man? I was talking to my daughter who lives across the country, and we were talking about entheogens and mushrooms more specifically. And she was like, Dad, I got to show you something. So she sends me this video and proceeds to unzip this 4x4 tent, which has the rack in there, has the tubs, man. It was fucking cool shit. I was very, very proud. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So, you know, things are changing and there are always more people coming online and into the fold of whatever community it happens to be every day. So I just want to take a point here to remember what it was like when you started, and remember what it was like when you wanted information, and remember how you used to clutch to those fucking bro science things that you had heard or someone swore by, and it's going to take you some fucking runs, man. And you just just tap into the community and fucking just be a cool person.
Getting back to chat a while back, someone, we were talking about that question about where can we gain access to these events and things like that. I want to shout out Medical Mondays because they always shout us out, of course. And they did a show last week with a couple of the organizers of the Big Clouds event, and they do interview many other organizers of other events sometimes too. So they're also a source to figure out when and where some events are, because they'll shout out some events, or at least people in their chat might talk about them. Yeah, so I got a chance to see Bergen Roach out there, so shout out those guys. It was good to see them. Go ahead, Spartan.
I was just gonna agree with you. Like, yeah, Bergen Roach have been shouting out a lot of different the local.
They've always been good on the news and the information and keeping the community plugged in, man, on what the fuck is going on. So definitely shout out to those guys.
Yeah, and they're in the 9 to 11 o'clock.
9 till 11 o'clock. Let me just do this real quick. Is one of the things that I really, really liked, and why the Late Sesh has always been on Mondays, even when it wasn't. I've gotten messages about people like, oh man, I wish you guys broke it up a little more and so it wasn't back to back. But the reason I did that is because there is like a really huge fucking cannabis thing that you can be involved in on Mondays. You can start over at 9 o'clock over on the Medical Mondays podcast and watch their show Medical Mondays. It's on from 9 till 11 Eastern. Then you slide right over here at 11 o'clock for the Late Sesh. We're on till 1, and then we get off, and then usually within 5, 10, 15 minutes, Eagle is going to come on, and you guys can hang out over there for the rest of the night, 3-4 hours. There's always something going on over there. And it's all funny because there's just so many overlap between all these different channels, and seeing the same people in chat because we're all part of the same larger community, man. And if I've seen you places and if I've been able to smoke with you, fuck yeah, man. And if I haven't gotten to yet, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Yep. We really fucking appreciate you. Yep. You guys don't.
If I walk past you and I didn't see you, it's because I didn't recognize you. It's not because I was ignoring.
Exactly. Well, the thing is people are used to fucking hearing our voices or seeing what the hell we are. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh my god. I've listened to the show for a long time.
I stare at objects and stuff more than I do people. That's my thing. I try not to make eye contact and do that kind of stuff because I've had too many stupid altercations just by walking past people. For some reason, I don't know why I have I want to fight you face. It makes no sense.
I don't get it. I'm going to pop you in the mouth face.
I'm not staring people down, man. I'm looking at objects. I'm an objecty person. I've always got something going on in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? So there's just it's been that way since I was a kid. I'm just like, I'm always observing my surroundings. You know what I mean? And so I rarely look at the human. I'll keep a close eye on the silhouette, as a fight flight, mechanism. But I'm rarely making eye contact or doing any of that kind of stuff. I'm looking at all kinds of other fun things, whatever's going on. Might be the background, actually.
Look at Painted Lady's cat in the background on the cat tree.
Nugget.
I like that shit on the wall too.
Look at him. I know that's dope.
Yeah, it's not so easy to do, is it?
My friend Christine is an artist that makes these.
You get bonus points for being able to drive around with your finger and not do it the wrong way on camera.
Yeah, I'm like, wait. I still can't figure it out.
Oh, I want to.
Did you call the cat Nugget?
Yeah, he's got 1,000 names. It drives sequence crazy.
He's Nugget.
You bringing up that what is it? What would you call it? Just an art piece on the wall?
Yeah.
You bringing that up? Okay, you bringing that up reminding me that Easy to Garden, who is somebody who follows us and follows us on Instagram and watches us, got a hold of me on Instagram and is sending to the PO box. He's a glass blower.
Oh,
and he made us all ashtrays.
What?
So, so he sent a bunch of ashtrays to the PO box. Yeah. So I'll be getting them at the end of the week or something like that. So I'll be
the magic post box, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
I thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Super cool.
A lot of artists in the community. I like it. That's why I like seeing it because
he's also seeds before. So we've given him
cedar. I like
seed.
That too.
Yeah, cedar.
A seeding artist.
seating artist.
I like that. I think after this event, or well, not it might be next year's events or something like that. Well, we have some now. We probably could bring some to our events. Beard scratching.
What are you talking about?
Vegetable seeds. We've got some pumpkin seeds
'em,
that
Becca.
are working. They're
'em on
going
track.
strong. We got some dill, right? Yeah, I think some dill. We have a handful of other stuff that we've actually been growing. So
Sunflower.
Well, let's hear
Some
from Becca
sunflowers,
on this.
of course.
I'm sure she's the one that's got to roll up her sleeves and fucking really.
I don't think we'd sell them. I'd like to
the
give them
work.
away. Give them away with part of our business card.
We
or
have
something.
so many. From that huge pumpkin we had, we have a huge thing of pumpkin seeds, and I only took like 8 of them out there. I have these pumpkin plants growing.
from our seeds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys end up running any large sunflowers this year?
Not yet.
No, we haven't done sunflowers. I'm gonna go directly in the ground with them this year.
Did you
I
find
really
out?
While
wanna-
he's off camera, push his chair over so we can see all of you instead of just half your face.
Yeah, get in the frame.
Sorry, I'm kind of high, guys.
You kind of faded, right?
Just a little bit. I'm super tired. Didn't get to sleep in today after the event.
I'm dripping all over my.
Oh shit, you got them started already.
This is a pumpkin from one of our pumpkins last year.
Last frost date this year is projected, I think, on the 18th.
His voice projects pretty well from across the room on a microphone.
Good microphone.
That's a good microphone. Yeah, man. You know, if you really are new to sunflowers, go online and just Google different types of fucking sunflower varieties out there, because they're not all gigantic fucking, colossus. Some of them are like multi-heads and shorter, and you can really use them beneficially around your garden.
And some are like there's like a black one that's
All right, things and thieves. Let me
Okay,
just.
has the most oil than any other sunflower.
So what do you do with the sunflower oil? You just fucking collect that shit easy?
Yeah, you just press it. Did you press any kind of like a seed to get the oil out? But that's
You gotta
like
have an old bookbinder's press or some shit, or am I just going out with the vice and getting down?
The thing about that in a survival situation, you can keep seeds for long periods of time, and you need straight fat just for calories. Boom, there's oil right there.
Yeah. And
Sunflower
enzymes.
seeds.
Sunflower seed.
Oh, that's cool. We got bags and bags and bags.
We're showing a hard freeze on the 19th.
Some don't have as much oil as others, but there's oil in it for sure. And the black ones are the ones that are. I can't remember the special variety, but they're super. They've got like, it was a ridiculous amount, like 40% oil, some stupid amount.
How do they figure out a farmer's almanac, guys? Who figures that
It's
out?
magic.
They say in the front of them,
it's
it's like
magic,
it's a mixture of like, they don't give you everything, but it's a mixture of a lot of things.
It's
I don't know,
magic?
man.
I think it's averages of many
They go
years.
by what they do still subscribe by the moon cycle stuff. And
So
Ascribe?
how do they
maybe
predict
astrology.
the last frost date? That seems like a little bit.
I think it's.
they
I
have
don't know.
They have the weather for the entire year by the week.
Yeah,
That's what the
before it
almanac is.
happens.
Yeah.
Before it happens.
It changes.
Before the year happens.
It's not real.
Super
It's pretty
spooky,
fucking
accurate.
magical.
It's pretty decently accurate. It's not as accurate as like maybe.
Wait a minute.
Pretty
Red, what
fucking
year is
accurate.
on the front of that? That's been going around
It's
since
from
what,
this
like
year.
Ben Franklin? No, I mean like Ben Franklin times. Some
I don't
fucking
know.
This
like late
copyright's
1700s.
This
shit.
copyright's
Is it that way? I don't
2021. The 226th year.
Thank you. 226 years.
Of the
Somebody that's better at
continuous
math, do
publication.
that for me real quick.
I think Jesus and his friends wrote it,
They were kicking it.
That's a lot of years.
Friends.
About that long.
and they
ago.
got on the boat and sailed away.
But yeah, somewhere in the middle of the
2000,
month
never
is
mind.
what they're saying for the last frost date here. I think
What'd you say about last frost?
somewhere in the middle of this month.
Yeah, like
It
this.
fucking
This is
snowed
showing a
last
hard
week here.
freeze on the 19th, so I think that's telling. I can't see when the last frost day is, but I'm scattering all over the page.
There's just a lot of numbers.
There's so
on
much
the
stuff on
page.
here.
I'm
I
just gonna
saw
look
it the
out
other
my
day.
fucking window.
There you go. Is
Just
it frosty out there?
What I'm gonna do?
Maybe there's a second.
We just
page
have all
today.
these plants. We gotta figure out
What
when
does
to
that
plant
mean?
them.
They all go in
How are
different
you gonna
times.
tell the frost date by looking out your window?
Because
It's Puxatawny painted lady.
I just got distracted by Puxatawny because that's what I call Gator. That's what I call one of my cats.
Okay.
Puxatawny Phil.
Hold on, there's a quote at the bottom of this of the May
A
page
stitch
though,
inside
and-
saves 9.
and it is to never let a day go by that you don't give more to your fellow man and to your community than you receive. That's a John Gruber quote from 1768 to 1857.
That would be his.
Just as true today as it was all
So
those many,
almost
many
200 years ago, people were still living to be 90 something years old.
Well, you know, that's a funny thing. People think that, you know, because like, oh, olden times, nobody lived. They all died in their 30s. Like, no,
This guy
that's
was
not what
90
it was
something
at
years
all,
old.
man. Like,
If you look deeper, you'll
you
find
have to
people
realize
that
that
live
the reason
500
that
years
the
old or even
well,
more.
the reason that the life
Probably ate
expectancy was
healthy.
so short in the 17 and 1800s isn't because people didn't live to be 90. It's because so many people died before the age of 1 that it really fucking skews the whole bell curve on what the age is.
There you go. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
died of the flu and stuff. I think
And
my
Dysentery, bro.
great
Fucking
grandma
Oregon
died of
Trail
the flu,
was
I
trying to
think.
tell us.
Yeah, something crazy. I don't know.
Did you say Oregon Trail?
You know it.
That was a good game.
You
That's
have
the only
died
thing
of
I.
dysentery.
That's the first computer game I ever learned how to play.
Commodore
you guys
64,
about
baby.
Oregon
Space Bar?
Trail.
He can
Space
go
I
into
am a
this.
victim of the Oregon Trail tests.
Oh, is this a conspiracy?
Anybody else? Is anybody else a victim of the Oregon? Did you
Nope.
pass the Oregon Trail
Yeah.
tests? I
know.
think the Oregon Trail tests was another research. In fact, not a research. I think it was a consumerist mind manipulation.
I wanted to go grab something to drink, but now I got to hang out for this fucking diet.
Oh! It's late sesh time. We're beyond hash time. Here we should go down to this Oregon Trail here because without all
think
the
it's like an
luxuries of
Ender's
modern
Game thing?
technology, without all the luxuries of modern technology, one that may try to, let's say, go off grid or down the Oregon Trail may just die of dysentery. The fear may just be there because you practice this game every single day at 3 p.m. Maybe not 3 p.m. It was more like 9:30 a.m.
There you go.
Red, we didn't all have it in our
every
second hour.
single day in
seventh
computer
grade.
class. You do this game for second grade, and then third grade, and then fourth grade, and then fifth grade.
Red's telling on himself.
And then they kind of stop it in sixth grade because by then the fear has already been smashed into you. You're now in sixth grade. You're watching all the commercials on TV. You want this little product and that little product. You're now never going to leave your safe, comfortable, cozy blanket of.
Yeah,
city.
but I played a lot of fucking like Grand Theft Auto, and it made me fear getting shot less. Like, oh,
Well, you're not out there punching people and stealing their whips. You know what I mean? And then just being like, fuck it, I'm going to punch it, man. I think I can make it.
Spartan was too busy picking up hookers.
it makes me not have to do that in real life. So I just get it out in the video.
That's
game,
it.
you know?
That's it. You think? Well, I'm never gonna have to
Becca,
die.
that was you?
If I have to venture without the luxuries of society, I'm gonna die of dysentery. It's just gonna happen.
I have shat myself. I
What
shall
does that
die now.
mean?
Dying of dysentery?
Yeah.
I don't. It's a
It's
terrible
dehydration, man. It's a fucking
disease.
Red, you get any nettle popping up your property yet?
I haven't really ventured around because it's sloppy and soggy at the moment. And
Are you
every
making
now and then when I'm
FPJ?
out there, I'm trying to stay try to pop out there kind of low key and
or just
Nah.
top dress with it.
I just
wander
been
around.
wandering around the
I've
yard
seen
with the
it.
dogs. And
I got strawberries that pop out, but I haven't actually
that's
seen the
butter.
berries. Like there's wild strawberry all over my grass at the
It is
my
May now.
perimeter.
you cut it or you let it go?
I cut over it all the time.
I
But the,
guess
flower,
berries,
the
man.
flowers, well, I'll see the flowers and then I'll kind of avoid that patch, and
okay.
I think the birds are getting them before, or they're just so
could be.
little tiny little wild strawberries that I'm not actually seeing them.
Could be all kinds of deer. Could be
yeah.
a lot of things. Man.
I want to search for morels. It might about be morel season, maybe in the
it's
next
already
week. Or
passed.
so.
Yeah, it's
Past.
past, bro. You missed that shit.
Past. It's
Yeah.
still freezing. How's it past?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit past now.
I don't know, man. Maybe we can still go up north and catch them.
I saw a bird.
Goes
I
from
don't know
the
what kind of bird, but a
You
bird
made
egg.
it to the end of June in Michigan.
I thought it was a puffball mushroom, but it was a bird egg.
What? It was a bird
I was
egg?
going like, oh, a puffball, because you can eat those before they go
Did you
go
like,
hollow.
bullshit and it didn't puff?
But no, it was an egg. I was like,
Right.
oh shit. I just left it there, but it's
Puffballs are like solid, right? Like
if they're solid,
styrofoam.
they're early. That's you get them early when they're
Yeah,
solid. You can eat those.
And then
but,
the inside like all like turns to spores or something like that.
yeah, it gets hollow and then it just spores out. And then when you push it, you squeeze it, it'll fucking shoot out the spores.
I got a bunch of
Like a little
turkey tail growing
volcano.
on trees, man. A
Turkey-
bunch of
do you?
turkey tail, yeah.
Yeah, turkey
And
tail is
then
an awesome one.
Like last summer, I had a bunch of fly agaric, otherwise known as fucking Amanita muscaria, that grows.
Were they
fucking
yellow
on
or
the-
red?
You
Yellow.
gotta watch some of those ones because
Yeah.
there's a cousin. There's a Amanita cousin that's non-muscanol or something like that, or it has a different alkaloid.
Something to do
within
with
it.
the gills underneath.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
Definitely, whenever you harvest wild mushrooms, you should always, even if you think you know what you're doing, just take a hot second. You got your phone on your hip in the first place. You know what I mean? Kind of be able to rule the two different things out on whatever you're trying to gather.
I think it's the yellow one specifically, man. That has the sharp cousin. I think that you can pretty much safely say, don't take my words for anything.
Look into it. Give it some more.
The red one I think is a little easier to identify, but psilocybe, there's cousins of cyansis for sure. The cyansis little brown mushroom, little browns you see in your grass and shit like that. There are some of those that are like some of the most potent mushrooms out there that
Which is just
really
crazy.
good medicinally. The problem is they have some serious cousins that are, death caps.
That's why people always say, you see blue on them.
I don't know if those ones bruise like that because of their coloration.
Right, they don't all do.
Yeah, I don't think I'm unsure. And then there's there's little browns that aren't cyansis, but there's something else, and those are native in Michigan. I know some people who just talk about just going up north and picking grocery bags full of
the story when I was a kid was always, you got to go out to the cow pastures. That's where you'll find them.
Dude, I see all kinds of little brown mushrooms in my yard.
Yeah,
especially if it's like last year when it was raining a lot. Oh god,
some of them may be psilocybe. Some of them,
especially if you've broken up some.
And they were tiny. I mean, they were real small. They were like about that big at tops.
There's many. You'd have to pick them all, and go through identification. You'd have to like gill them all. Take spore prints of every one of them and keep them incredibly, well managed
on black and on white, so you can see what color.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to do so much, and by the time you get through it all, you've handled it all so much. I mean, as maybe you could ground it into a powder and make something out of it, but I don't know. But I mean, little brown, I've always contemplated, going hunting for them in the woods of Michigan and things like that, but I definitely wouldn't advise it, without knowing your territory. Or
it'd be amazing. I am addicted to, on my phone, I think Sequence has the same phone, Google Glass on it, and you can take a picture of something, hit Google Glass, and it'll find image search, and it'll try to find what it is in the picture, so it helps by identifying. It gets you on the right track. Yeah. Get you on the right track of identification.
That's cool.
And so I'll just sit in the fucking yard and just like fucking anything that pops up. Ooh, what the fuck is that? Ooh, what the fuck is that? And then if it's edible, I'm eating. I want to see what it fucking tastes like. So man, like
most plants are edible.
I don't know about most, but there's
a lot.
Well, we have to take Red's word for it because he's consumed a lot of different plants, and he's still here to tell the tale.
It depends on edible and pleasant to eat. Those are two different things.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Edible.
You died
like will not kill you. You know what I mean?
My little 5-year-old brother tried wheatgrass, and he calls it his edible grass. So my mom called me up like, he's trying to get all his friends to eat edible grass.
So are we.
It's better than Red. Red used to try to get kids to eat the Easter basket fucking grass. Remember the edible stuff that they used to have for that for a hot minute?
Oh man.
No.
Easter basket.
Nobody knows about the edible Easter basket grass.
No, I don't.
Talk about
the good. I'm glad nobody knows about it as me.
But now I want candy. Fuck.
It's like
it is the last half hour of the show, so we do kind of crank up the munchies at this point for everybody to make sure you all have a hearty appetite and a nice snack before you fucking retire.
I got
pie.
Did you go to fucking Sam's Club, bro?
Nah.
Pie, dude.
So Marie Calendar, I think it is.
Marie Calendars, yeah.
Oh, dude, you can get frozen little personal pies, 2 in a pack. They're like a nominal fee. A nominal fee.
Phenomenal.
They have
Sweet
key lime pie and they have coconut cream, and I eat them frozen. Oh, so good,
Key lime pie sounds good.
so good.
I could go for a cheesecake.
Fucking
Ooh, cheesecake.
I
Marie.
wanted to
Jack
get one
Frost.
yesterday.
I
Fucking
could go
Marie.
for a peanut butter or a strawberry cheesecake.
I would like a pumpkin cheesecake. Is my all-time favorite cheesecake.
That's a good shit.
Pumpkin.
Paul,
Daddy
Paul
Red
had
makes
a
some.
pumpkin
Pump-
gooey butter cake I used to make.
Ooh, that's
shit
Whoa.
good.
was
That
so
sounds
good.
really
Whoa.
fucking good.
Pumpkin gooey butter cake, huh?
Oh yeah, man.
See, I like
Sounds
Daddy
dirty.
Red's pumpkin pie, and that's a good one.
Have you ever had a
It's
pumpkin
not-
pie where
it's not
somebody's
all
gotten like
jelly.
overzealous with the fucking allspice and shit in it, or like,
What
oh,
about
yeah.
the one? What about the ones
awful.
that are like it's like a
Gross.
jelly
Gross.
consistency? Like, why is the pumpkin pie a jelly
It's not jelly.
It's no
No.
good.
I don't like the jelly consistency.
What
pie.
sweet potato pie?
Not to offend
that's
anyone.
another good one.
Oh yeah,
God, that's good.
sweet.
Sweet
I've gotten into sweet potatoes recently. I mean, if you spice them up right, sweet potatoes are pretty good. I like to grow some sweet potatoes. You need a decent amount of space because they vine out, but I'd like to grow some sweet potatoes actually.
I
Maybe
love
this
sweet
year
We
we
used
should grow some.
to serve sweet potato fries, and I used to take cinnamon and sugar instead of
Mm.
hitting them with salt and pepper. Hit them with cinnamon and sugar on top of them. Man, people dig the
Mm.
shit out of that.
So
Fuck yeah,
good.
dude.
I like to cook them with cinnamon for sure.
Oh yeah. Man, cinnamon's a good one to use for a lot of stuff. Should have put some in my tea.
All drinks, 30 minutes of food. Here we go.
Yeah, rock and
Damn it.
roll.
I just realized I wasn't supposed to eat anything after midnight, and I totally
What are you, a
forgot.
gremlin? You gonna turn into one after midnight?
No, dude, I got surgery tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like 7 hours.
Oh
I had
shit.
surgery today.
You know what?
Hey.
Fuck what they say.
She's like, I'm gonna turn my camera
Yeah, I'll
off.
just bleed out, die out on the table. No bigs. Oh well. Now I'm gonna be hungry.
I got this.
We cannot talk about food also.
I got this damn toothpaste
sure?
that
Are
I'm
you
supposed
sure
to
we can
use.
talk about food? I don't know.
They got me trying to use this toothpaste where I can't eat or drink anything for 30 minutes, and I got to like schedule times of the day to like brush my teeth with this
Do you
stuff.
just
And I
graze like that all
First
day?
thing in
Otherwise,
the
like
morning.
the guy that walks by the
I'm
bowl of
well,
jelly beans and scoops a big
I get
fucking handful. and
cotton mouth,
mouths them
man.
down the
I get
hall.
cotton mouth, or like if I like get a dizzy spell or something weird. But this is
I get the
Pat.
vapors.
Like, this is all past. This is like when I had like crippling anxiety and shit like that, where I'd just like overthink a situation or like smoke the wrong herb, and I would just like get way too head high or something like that, and I would just like get super thirsty. Like water would be the thing that would just like calm me down. I would just have to drink water. So now I'm like, am I gonna have to drink some water anytime soon? So I'll just like drink like
Begrudgingly.
this much water and then go brush my teeth with this stuff that's like supposed to.
Reb was holding up a big bottle of
Supposed to-
vodka right
I'm
there.
somebody who brushes my teeth like as soon as I wake up because I just
This
it
stuff's
wakes
supposed
me
to.
up. I can't go.
I have a question about brushing your teeth.
Okay.
So I always watch Your Mom's House and all
Why are
those
you watching my mom?
podcasts.
Your mom's
Weird.
house.
Christina Pajitsky
Very good. I don't think I could say it.
was talking about her and the Booth Boys were talking about how, did you guys know that when you brush your teeth, you're supposed to brush the insides of them?
Yeah.
What?
What? Inside.
And I was like,
They were brushing the
How
backs
do you
of
get
their
in
teeth.
there?
duh.
They're just
Oh,
washing.
you
They,
go
they're just
everywhere.
brushing down
Yeah.
Main Street, man, like a street cleaner, and saying "fuck those side streets." We ain't
Yeah,
even gonna worry
they're
about those,
like
man.
this.
Nobody's gonna drive by those.
And
Well,
nobody brushes on the inside.
That's because
What
in the
hell?
movies,
That's
that's
where
how
your
they
tongue
brush their
goes.
teeth in the movies. They
That's where
only
your
do
tongue
that.
is tasting the sweater that's on your fucking teeth if you don't brush them. And I cannot believe they were like, yeah, I didn't know that either.
What?
How do you not know you're supposed to brush
How many
all of your
years?
teeth?
Maybe they're fake teeth.
Like,
Still.
don't you? Wasn't it in school they used to have that big chopper thing, and
Yeah,
then they
the
had the
big
big
brush.
toothbrush and
Remember they used
showed
to have like the
you?
red, the little red pill thing.
Yeah,
and
not
they
all
would have
kids
you-
pay attention, for sure.
For
For
fuck's sake,
sure.
then schools need to be revamped because
There are some
hell is going
not
on?
so smart people out there that I question how they made it at such a prime age.
Same.
Yeah.
I know, Lobster. I know it's Christina, but still.
I thought you were gonna say brush your tongue. I thought that's what you're gonna say. But
Oh, well,
I was
all of
Tongue
it.
surprised when you
scraper.
said, you
I'm
surprised
a
me when
tongue
you
brusher.
said brush the
Huge.
backside of your teeth. Of course.
I'm a
What the
huge
fuck?
gagger.
All of it.
I'm not gonna
It's
make
still
the
a
motion.
teeth on the backside too,
I'm
right?
not gonna do the motion, but I'm a
I
tongue brusher
can't
and a
be
gagger.
around
Oh
when he
yeah.
brushes
I'm a
his teeth.
gagger.
Oh dude, I
I
used
make
to
myself almost puke.
I used to not be able to drink my coffee or do anything before I brush my teeth because if I put anything in my stomach, it wouldn't stay down. Like it was terrible.
You
Like,
were throwing up.
for a long when I didn't smoke so much weed to where I didn't have gag reflexes. Yeah, my gag reflexes are terrible, man. I used to have real gnarly indigestion and stuff. I used to eat really bad.
Did you
so,
swallow
like,
a bunch of
terrible.
toothpaste while you were
Good
doing
thing
this,
you're
Red? Is that what
straight.
part of the
dude, no.
problem is?
When I was a kid, I used to get this thing where if I swallowed toothpaste, it would make me hit the number 2 real fast. You know what I mean? So I learned real fast not to swallow the toothpaste.
That is
in my
number
mind-
3.
Red
least in my
Setter's
mind, that's
secret
what it was,
fucking
you know?
elixir laxative.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I was I don't
Note to
swallow
self,
that
kids.
stuff.
I have a tongue scraper. I scrape my
Those are
tongue.
weird to me.
My toothbrush has one of those just on the back of it. You just go.
If I eat a lot of sugar before bed, I have type 1 diabetes, so it stays in my system differently, and it all just get on my tongue bad, and
Meh,
if I scrape it,
there you go.
perfect.
Clean that.
I've got
shit.
I've got some little I ate too much probably veggie straws or chips, something salty all weekend and
Veggie straw.
fucking
They're addicting.
we got the fucking knockoff brand like the
bootleg
Target
ones?
brand.
slightly better for you ones.
The Olestra. Now you have an anal leakage.
Oh,
You have died of dysentery.
that's
Camping.
fun. This
Oh,
makes for
that's-
something
Your
That is what the
dysentery
issue
dream's
was.
coming true.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
It
Well,
cleans you out. Yeah, it's just
you gotta have a healthy microbiome to keep the ticks and all that stuff off you. It's very
Oh,
important.
yeah, you
I've
gotta be
been
really careful about ticks now, guys. That
it
shit's
is.
getting thick.
I've been making balance your
Check your
fatty
dogs.
oils. Yep, balance your fatty acids, man. I've been eating plenty of nuts.
Is
And
that why you keep eating them? And then
It
be like,
is.
oh my,
Yes.
my oils
Yeah.
are balanced.
yeah. I watched some. I
His
watched some
excuse.
dudes. I watched some dudes
I get it now.
natural tick preventive video. You know what I mean? And it was he had all these tips. Watch. Be aware of your surroundings. Obviously,
Don't get jumped by some ticks.
some certain the
Stay out of the tall grass.
the logic stay
Realize they can
understand
drop
where
down
they're
from
going to
trees and
be,
shit on you.
stuff like that. Maybe wear long pants. Some certain thing. When you get home, make sure that you're checking yourself.
Even if you haven't been outside, if you have pets that go outside, you have to realize that your pets can give them a lift inside the
You're
house.
gonna bring them in the house. They could be anywhere
between their
I
toe
had-
pads and inside their ear folds. All
I've found them on window screens and on the interior window screens. I found them on the bathroom hand towels. I found them on the wall in the dining room. They'll just be everywhere. I found them in
How do you feel about that
restaurant
back?
office.
Starting to crawl.
Look, he's itching himself. He's getting all carried away. He's like,
everywhere.
"Whoa,
I'd have, dude. I was
whoa."
fucking everywhere, dude.
I think Becca should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize over there dealing
For her work.
shit.
She's a trooper.
No comment.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle, I suppose.
You guys make a great team, man.
She's a trooper, man. I'm just gonna keep saying that. I
That's
suppose
what you
she
got
kicks
to.
ass. No, she really does. I have a tendency to fumble with my words or overtalk a situation or something like that. So she can be a much better salesperson sometimes.
She's a good foil.
I'm good at maybe talking about the growing aspects if people have questions or something like that, or I'm good talking about some other stuff. She just has awesome product knowledge and good personability. You know what I mean? And it's a lot. She's a little bit more personable sometimes than I am. I guess
Can be.
I'm incredibly
can be.
personable. You know what I mean?
You got an eye roll for that.
I am
It's like a
most.
turn
You
on.
earned it.
I'm
it's
most
something you
certainly
turn on a
an
little bit
approachable
Happy
person,
birthday,
but
Blue
yeah,
Kiss
it's something I have
Gardens.
to turn on. Right, exactly. Because
Blue
even
Kiss's birthday's today too.
Yeah.
oh
man.
shit, okay, yeah, this
Tony and
It's
shout
a,
out
no,
to
it's a,
Tony.
it's a new. It's a
And
new
Blue
day.
Kiss.
3 today.
That was yesterday for the Kingfisher
April
and
3rd.
Stony. Today is Blue Kiss.
Happy birthday, Blue Kiss.
Happy birthday,
Yeah, happy
Lucas.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Stony.
Should we sing?
And Stony, yeah.
Fuck it, I'll sing happy
We
birthday.
gotta do our
to
birthday
you.
gang thing here for the late
Happy
session.
Happy birthday
birthday.
to you.
Does your family sing it really, really, really slow too?
Ugh,
Oh,
like a
I
dirge.
wouldn't
It's like
know.
a
fucking
joke.
horrible.
They make a joke of it.
My mom still calls me to this day and will leave a message because I won't answer on her birthday.
Yeah, man.
And we'll fucking sing. And if she's not the only one singing, if anyone else is in the house, she coerts them into doing it.
Oh, yeah, there's a background choir of singers.
Oh yeah, and they're all
all the-
usually top.
Stony
notch.
said, "Don't sing. We're good."
Like
thanks."
a bunch of like a
Hey, I didn't do it,
the
man.
restaurant choir when you go out to
Rude.
dinner.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Every
Some
year.
old Bennigan shit, right? It's
Oh
your
my God,
birthday.
dude.
Remember the
Chi-Chi's.
sombrero?
Fuck yeah,
Oh,
man.
dude. We used to do that Buffalo Wild Wings.
Mm,
They'd ask for singers. I'd go, well, this is a Buffalo Wild Wings. You can't. it's
sir, this is a Buffalo Wild Wing. You can't bring your
fucking
Wendy's in here.
football game going on, people.
I hate that shit, man.
No, we used to
It's
do it. We used to do
embarrassing.
it.
We're back to talking about food again, though.
No, the whole fucking making a big deal and bullshit and noise and dance and shit and the fucking when you're trying to eat. I hate that shit.
I
Simmer
agree.
down now. Simmer down over there.
I didn't come here for that.
I remember when have you been to like Joe's Crab Shack? They've
That's
done
where I
their
always
shit.
No.
wanted to go when I was like
dude.
5.
They come out and they make you like get in a hula skirt and they make you get up out of your table.
Like,
Like,
if
oh,
we got to do
dude,
it, you got to do
they
it,
make
fucker.
you run around the whole fucking room and
I
all
heard the
kinds of shit.
stories. It's like, no, I'm not gonna go
That's
there.
my thing.
I don't want to
was like, what the
participate in that
fuck? I'm
fucking
like,
sort of
I
thing.
put this hula skirt on. I'm like, I'm not fucking dancing. I'm just sitting there, fuck, cross my arms.
The pouty boy. He's like, I was 27, man. Get off my back.
Yeah, dude, nowadays I'd probably do it. You know, I was a kid, you know, just fucking.
You worked at Joe's Crab Shack.
No, I didn't work at Joe's Crab Shack, but I went there for a dinner and would get accosted by the wait staff.
Accost.
Wow, accosted.
It's a celebration.
Yeah, if that's what you call it. Approach me with your tassels.
Don't you approach me with that hula skirt. It's not going down like that.
Well, I wasn't letting
Oh,
those
man.
fuckers put that nasty ass sombrero on my head after God knows where that fucking thing
Oh,
went, man.
What
No,
do you-
thank you.
Make me dance around with that little like horse head on
Go
a
home with
stick.
ticks
And
on your
that
shit,
stick's
right?
got to go between your legs. I don't know how many legs that thing's
Oh
in between.
man,
dude.
you're really painting a bad story now. Shit.
It's just
God.
that totally
So
not having a good time with
negative.
his birthday party, Red. You got to fucking kick it up a notch for us, man. It's kind of sucks.
I've never been to a Joe's Crab Shack.
That's
I did
bad.
go-
I
That's
did
where
go-
Joe's Crab Shack is. You couldn't even tell if the smell was bad at that point because you're already in the crab shack.
I don't like seafood, so I never ate
Me
seafood.
either.
I got like
I
chicken
love
Yeah, I thought you said you wanted to be there for like
For
since
my-
you were fucked.
because I liked that
Love
celebration thing. For
Oh,
my
'cause I
fifth
wanted to be the party
birthday and
girl.
my 6th birthday.
I always wanted to
Fun.
go, just never wanted to eat any of the food.
Yeah, it's what.
Just want to wear the skirt.
Oh, that's great.
So I did.
Just wanted to fucking
And then they
dance.
closed or
Just
something.
wanted to dance on the fucking horse head and the stick.
Shit, man.
Little 5-year-old me. Yep.
They had some funny shirts.
I would hate it now. I would never do it.
You guys remember the old head shop wear down in like, or you like in like beach towns? I'm sure they were out west, but they were definitely down in like Florida, and I'm sure anywhere on the beach, probably up here, even in Michigan, in Mackinac City. What would they be? Tourist stops and shop. Johnson and Big Johnson, the Big
Oh,
Johnson
Johnson,
shirt,
yeah.
Big Johnson's golf shop or shit, whatever it was.
This is
All those
Johnson.
other,
I
all those
remember
other
you
ones.
make you turn your shirt inside out if you wore them in school.
Damn.
They were doing that shit to us
Inside
with
out
like
game.
bum equipment. They didn't let us wear bum
Bum?
equipment. Yeah,
Ew,
we couldn't wear
wow.
bum. Yeah, bum.
Next
bum
year,
was
be telling me I
yeah,
can't wear my
they got
used
us for
jeans or
bum
my
equipment.
Gerbeau.
Yeah, bum. No hats.
It's all guess here, baby.
Bum equipment. No
That's
tank
fucking
tops.
weird.
Can't
What
be
were
a bum.
they
dude.
saying that was attached to?
Can't be a bum, dude. Gang
Oh.
shit.
Can't be a bum. Okay.
It was always gang shit, dude. Can't wear colors. Can't wear all kinds of shit, man.
Is
They're all-
anybody
they're
picturing
all
red
kinds
with
of-
either a red
all
or a
kinds of
blue
rules.
fucking do rag fucking
It's
tied
wild,
out,
man.
get a buttoned up
Stupid.
flannel all the way to the top and shit, just top
So
buttoned
stupid.
up. wearing
I've never
some
known him with
chucks.
short hair.
khakis.
Guys, he's gonna cut it
There
one
is no
day.
photographic evidence
was one day.
of that.
I'm gonna cut it one day up. I'll probably cut it so it's still this long. I'll take a couple feet off
Zeke
of it.
Havarici, Stoney was fucking
So
rocking the shit
long.
with the pleats and shit in the front. The fucking 80s and the 90s, man.
The best. The best.
I'm hearing crickets from these other guys. They're just not.
I
They're
don't
not feeling
remember
it.
the 80s that much. 90s I remember more of.
Man, I'm so thankful I grew up during that time. It was so much simpler and so much cooler.
It
And
wasn't.
I know I
it
sound
was.
like an old asshole saying that, but man, it was. You didn't have to deal with all these fucking phones and social
Cameras
media
everywhere.
and had
Oh my
good fucking
God.
music. Not
Had
all this
surge and jolt, and we were able to.
shit that's happening right now. It's like, what the fuck is that? Play an
We're-
instrument. Goddamn.
We were allowed to be kids and drink 6,000 milligrams of caffeine and fly around our neighborhood
Was encouraged.
without the local like lady spy accosting us on the street. I'm gonna say that word again.
What
I
yeah.
used to be able to walk to school through the woods like a mile and a half. Like when I was in elementary school. Okay, bye. Walking a mile.
Don't be
and a
late.
half for
so crazy to me. That's so
my
crazy.
book bag. And
I can remember
always
being a little
home.
kid too, doing that same shit, walking like fucking quarter-mile home. Like, what the fuck was I doing? I would
You had
never.
it
I
under
feel,
control.
I feel insane. I would never let my kid do that. I wouldn't have. No way. Not in
Yeah,
this day
I
and
know.
age.
Yeah, not
Those are
today,
days.
man. Yeah, it is. It is like far different. I feel like I was only a kid, so I don't know what adults were like, right? You know, like I didn't drive, right? As a kid, you're on a bike mostly, or you know, maybe skates or
Shoe
something
Soul
like that, or
Express.
a board, or maybe just your feet. But like, yeah, man, you traverse some distance. I would do some fucking distance, man. The mall was like half a mile away. Like we would go to I was in Southwest. I was in Northwestland, and I would go all the way across Westland on my bike into the city of Wayne, like as
Just
a
going into other
young-
cities and shit.
young
You know, it's
teacher.
cool.
Oh yeah, dude, bicycle into Garden City, dude, friend's house. My parents worked and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like they'd get home, they had stuff to take care of around the house. They couldn't cart me around and take me all over the neighborhood and pick me up and all that shit. I had to take off on my bike. It was easy to trust kids and stuff. And I mean, and even still, like Metro Detroit, not the best neighborhood. Definitely like neighborhoods now, but like at the time, a little bit better, you know, and you can kind of trust the areas a little bit. And as kids growing up, it was kind of nice. I feel like being able to learn to navigate and things and understand the neighborhoods and
Yeah,
what
but
areas
people don't know
to
the names of
avoid and-
street and shit though. Like they'll be like, "Do you know what?" I asked my kid, "Well, do you know what street we're on?" No. Like
That's
what
what I
you
mean.
fucking lived here for
I know-
fucking 20
I know
years. How do you
all
fucking not know
those
what the name of the streets are,
I know
man?
all of them because I would be out there riding on them and finding new ways to get around.
Exactly.
and
Fucking
avoid
shortcuts, dude. That's the
things and
stoner way.
shortcuts.
Is like,
Yup.
which fucking alternate path can I take where I'm not going to run into the fuzz or some shit?
And, and then when I could drive, it was driving around, you know, I'd have smoking routes and it was never past the same house twice type of rules, but stay in the same neighborhood. You know what I mean? And so you're
Red's
doing
taking
all
pages out of the
kinds
KGB fucking spy book and shit. Never take the same route twice. That's how you get smoked.
Oh, I mean,
Back before that, it was actually bicycles. Like when people actually rode bikes to get places instead of having those fucking motorized scooters. They put a credit card in and just leave everywhere in front of people.
There's a lot of cities that have those in Michigan now, man. Like more than you would think.
that South Park
Man.
episode kills me. Yeah, bro, you're just gonna scoot. You're just gonna scoot.
I've yet to use one of those things.
Me too, dude.
Same. I refuse. I got
I refuse to download the app. Like that's too complicated. If I gotta fucking bust out my phone
That
and
makes
start,
you guys all sound like old people. Guys.
I just don't want to get on my
Yep.
phone all the
So
fucking
good.
time.
I still like you guys, but
It's
you're old.
fun. They're there.
I don't have one of those stupid pop out back things, so I drop the fucking thing all the time. Why do I have to get out my phone for every little damn thing? I want to just
I
would
mean,
just
it's not
wanna
like I
put,
use
let me
it.
put a fucking
Yeah.
dollar in the damn thing to drive it.
Here's something. I've got fucking legs and feet. I'm gonna bike my ass down half a mile down the street. For fuck's
Well,
sake.
the only time I've used one, guys, just so you know, I was with my best friend, and we were going from one side of Ann Arbor to the other side of Ann Arbor on a tailgate.
You don't have to
And
justify
we got on
yourself
one,
and
and
your
it was really
decisions.
fun. It was fun.
A 2-for-1 ride.
Yeah, we just shared. Fuck the system.
I get it.
Fuck the system.
I
But you
just
contributed capital.
Just
That
don't
was
say
not
never.
You know, on the bingo card of the
Never,
night,
I
having
thought I
Becca
had
say "fuck the system" was not on anybody's fucking card, and you know it, man.
There you go.
Oh,
Bingo.
dude. Anarchy at the Red Setter Farm, guys.
yeah.
We're getting chickens, baby, and that's against our township ordinance.
Ooh, fucking flapping your wings in the face of the
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
That's crazy talk.
not gonna hold us down.
After vacation.
Yep. We can start building it though.
Your
We get
dream
ourselves
chicken
some
empire.
birds. Yeah, man. I'll tell
Are
you
you
what.
going to become
dude.
Colonel Red Sanders?
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
You almost have the beard. If you just go white with it, you could almost pull it off. We need to get him the little string bow tie.
At this
the
rate,
white
if you give me 5 years, I'm gonna.
Becca, do you
Bolero.
want to be a
there.
chicken for Halloween?
I may have more gray in my hair
You
than
can be a
Daddy
chicken with
Red
a
in
hula
the next
dress
few
on.
years.
And then Red can be Colonel Red Sanders.
Holy shit.
I'm assuming it's for laying hens, or are you they're meat hens?
Laying hens. Yeah, no, we're not going to do meat birds here. We don't have
For
enough.
eggs.
We don't have enough room. We're just going to have some birds for eggs.
And our garden.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, mainly so we can put a couple chicken tractors. That way
Is there a chicken propelled tractor out there
in between.
that I don't know about?
No,
Mobile.
it's
Team
like
of fucking chickens
it's
pulling
a-
this
it's like
big
a-
fucking tractor.
figure like a 4x8 cage that you move every
It's like a
day,
garden cart.
and so that is
Oh,
your
it's like
tractor.
using like goats. They just
Yeah.
kind of clean it out. Okay,
Yeah.
right on.
you just
That's
move
cool.
them every day, and they pick and clean, and
Or
They
like let 'em in the
take-ify your
garden.
yard.
yeah. So you would set them, you would keep them over a garden bed. You know, basically, I have a lot of 4x8 size spaces, so I would leave their chicken tractor. This was you know, they would have a permanent pen and a portable pen. The portable pen would just be left this time of year. Right now, before we're planting, you know, I'd be out there. They'd get a day over each, or day or two, you know, or maybe even a week over each 4x8, and they would just kick and scratch and till and shit and poop and pee and, you know, disrupt the ecology right there and convert it over and get it ready for planting for us. And then they'd go to and work the grass for us. And
You
then
eat a lot of ticks too.
yes, they do. Yep. Yes, they do. And it's absolutely asinine that our neighborhood that you can't house some chickens when a 2 to 4 pack of chickens can live very comfortably in a, you know,
Buying them like Bartles and James fucking wine coolers over here in 4 packs.
I was just gonna say a 4-pack of chickens.
4-pack of chickens.
Wait a
man.
minute. Is that
You just have four-
a
What are
breast,
chicken
a
nuggets
wing?
You have to pay a deposit.
a four flock of chickens. You got
I got a
Flock the
6-piece
system,
or a
Red. Flock the
4-piece.
system, man.
flock the man.
You got the 4-piece or the 6-piece chicken.
Block the system.
Now you see Red with the flock of seagulls haircut, the
I'm
big
gonna-
swoop.
Dude,
The
I'm
blonde?
definitely that's gonna
Yeah.
be the motto on the chicken coop, man. The
Flock
name
the
of the
system?
chicken coop, flock the system. Flock the system with a big wing, giving a big fucking middle finger. Yeah, it's gonna be a chicken doing like a middle finger wing. These are all
A
like
big
feathers
cock
and shit.
showing off his fucking.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, big cock
Digits.
like lifting up his fucking britches and showing a fucking hoof or a nice little fucking talon.
What is going on?
I don't know, man. We got 7 minutes left. I'm trailing away.
Let's get the cloven hoofed fucking chickens running around his yard, man. I think I've seen that on the pentagram before.
Yeah, flock the system. I like it, dude. I reached out to an artist about getting a cool piece of stained glass, but it's definitely not in our budget. So
Yeah, it creeps up in price real quick.
yeah, it's like a little bit too much for what I'd want to put in. But you know, it would be cool if we could have that type of networking and business that we could afford to be able to help out other starving artists by purchasing their cool products. You know, that's the
Let's
goal.
put those
you know?
fucking chicken tractors to work, man. and we
That's what
can
I'm
fucking
saying, man.
crank out some
Yep,
shit.
yep. You can start putting some of that ground or effort, you know, converting energy into food source, so you can limit the amount of money that you spend on the system, and that just, you know, fucks the man even more. So that's the idea. I keep having to fucking buy our eggs and all of our other supplies from the store. And man, I'll tell you what, man, with some dill and some what was it, parsley and some spinach and shit like that, man, I can have myself a solid spinach pie once a week that'll feed us quite healthily. You know, you just have to go supply phyllo dough. If I could find a way to make my own phyllo dough, you get a goat.
Philo.
I don't think phyllo is made from cheese.
It's
Phyllo.
It's like Fila shoes with not the A but the O.
My mom says philo. I've always said philo. I think. Did you say philo? Somebody said
What the-
philo.
You said Philo.
You said Philo. He's trying to gaslight a radio live.
No,
on
You know what
Text
it
Live,
reminded me
man.
I
of?
think that she's
Skilbo?
told me. I think she said philo to me, and so I started saying philo. Like I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
It
Somebody said-
reminds
The
me.
shoe is on the
Somebody
other
said Philo.
foot, man. This is like
I
the
might have-
switching of cameras when Painted Lady and Sequence move. Usually it's Becca that's throwing red under the bus. And now the shoe is on the other
Yeah,
foot.
see, well, it was a
He's
payback.
gonna get an elbow poke in a hot second.
Reminds me of that movie.
She was
Every Which
thinking
Way
it
But
too.
Loose.
What movie, Painted Lady?
That Philo, saying the word Philo,
Philo.
reminds
I
me of
probably
that
said
Clint
Philo.
Eastwood movie. Remember with the Clyde, Right Turn Clyde, and that orangutan with punch
Every which way
everybody
but
out?
loose.
Yeah, and he
haven't
was
seen that one.
Philo Beto. He was punching out Philo Beto, man. That's what it reminds me of. You know what's good? The best thing ever made with Philo dough. Philo dough is baklava. Just had some nuts.
Balaclavas?
I'm
you know the
Baklava.
you know what a
I'm
baklava is?
indifferent on that baklava. Isn't it like pecan? It's like pecan.
You with those pecans
Pistachio.
again.
Pistachio.
Good.
Ground up.
I could maybe do it if it
We're
was.
back on food again, guys.
Well,
We got
I'd
3
like
minutes to
to-
do this.
You could just take simple cinnamon
Stay
sugar
hungry.
and line that shit, roll it up, fucking cut it, and it's like tastes just like elephant ears when you bake it. Oh,
Dude,
that's so
Now
fucking
that's
good.
the
Gotta
shit
work real
right there.
fast with that stuff too,
Oh.
man.
So good.
Phyllo dough hardens up real quickly. And working a moist kitchen.
We're hitting all the keywords that we've
about it?
tussled over in the past, man.
Well, it is the late session. It's late into the late.
It's
session.
late into the late sesh, man. And I
Yeah,
want to give everybody a shout out that's hung with us tough, like New Kids on the Block all the way through. It's always a good time, you know. Are we doing? We've got we got the Spread the Spores guy on Behind the Veil
Thursday.
Thursday at 9 p.m. over on
Thursday.
Clarity Science Channel. I'm not sure what the status is of the next Wake and Bake with the Groskies, so stay tuned to that. We'll put a posting up. And other than that, man, come back through Sunday night.
Pro Show Live.
Yeah, I hope to see everybody else at the next event too. Gems and Genetics will be the next one. Frigroli will be vending. Astro Charlie, I think 71 DP.
Stop by and say
Zero
hi.
is going to be hanging out with us, and we'll be there splitting up that tent with those guys. So yeah, stop by and say hi. And I think we're gonna camp out that weekend too. Should be a fun time.
Are you gonna park a little bit further away from the next lot, man, or how are we gonna do this? We don't want to have any fucking fire.
I mean,
or,
I'm gonna respectfully keep my distance from everybody as I
there you
always
go. I
do.
socially distance
And-
my vehicle from these damn fire rings. That's what I'm gonna
And-
do.
It wasn't there.
There was no fire ring to even park by. They put the fire ring next to my truck. That's the ridiculous part about this entire scenario. So
And that brings us literally full circle all the way back around.
peace out, everybody. Have a good night. Don't play with fire.
Happy good night. Hey, yeah, don't set your backyards on
Good
fire.
night.
And remember,